Hey guys, welcome to episode 257 of 4Play Animecast. It is the first week of October 5th, 2024, 10:24 p.m. Eastern Coast, Eastern Standard Time, over on the East Coast of, I guess, North America here, for those of you watching live. And we are starting off with the fall 2024 reviews. This review is the first of our season, and it's going to be a pretty brief one. In terms of just the review section, I will warn you guys in advance because, I mean, everything's only episode one or so out right now. I think most of the fall series, if if you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, came out on the 3rd of October or the 4th of October ish, right? The first general wave, right? So
Yeah,
we're
I
pretty
think it's
much
between
just
the second and
yeah.
the fifth is where pretty much everything comes out.
Yeah. It kind of collates general or it's slightly spread out, but it wasn't as bad as it was, I think, just out of COVID. Remember when there was
Yeah,
that
that show was
weird
annoying.
time where, yeah, where it's like series will slowly come out in the spread of like 2 or even 2.5, 3 weeks, and it's just like, what's going on? But yeah, this mainly came out this week, but despite that, it's mostly just episode one. So please bear with us if our reviews are relatively brief. We're gonna be trying to give as much of a description as possible. So I am your co-host Spire, and with me are my compatriots Near,
Hello.
Toast,
Ah,
Dark,
Hello.
and let's briefly go over our 2 weeks. Near, what about you?
I've been chilling. I
Pretty good.
saw I saw Alien Romulus like 3 weeks ago. Um, in the theaters. That was fun. It was a fun movie. Um, kind of gross movie too. But yeah. Other than that, mostly chilling. It's getting a bit chillier out now, which is nice. Uh, I much prefer I much prefer fall weather over summer. Call me crazy, but you know. Other than that, gotcha shit. I lost my 50-50 recently in Zenless, which pissed me off. I got another fucking arena. I think it's the third one I've pulled now, which is
Mm,
not fun. But yeah, on that, mostly just chilling, playing mahjong.
okay,
The
pretty good.
usual.
Yeah. You need to cover that Mahjong series for us this season.
I really don't want to, bro.
Oh god. What about you, Dark?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing. I've been doing a whole lot. Obviously, a lot of episode ones coming out. Been finishing off a lot of like the last season stuff. Yeah, been doing gotcha stuff with Zenless. I won my 50-50.
Yeah,
Well, oh
fuck
wait,
you.
no, actually no.
Shit.
I think I lost my 50-50. Yeah, who did I lose it to? I don't even remember who I lost it to, but I lost my 50-50, but I swiped. So did I really lose? What do you think about it? Um,
Well, technically, Hoyover's won.
yeah, so that's been fun. Zenless has been pretty good. Other than that, been playing too many games. Kind of been like jumping between a lot of stuff and not finishing anything. So I kind of gotta get back to that. Finish finish things like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Cause yeah, that was
Okay.
on sale for like $15, so that was cool. Other than that, picked up the Sword Art game, purely to play as the GGO characters, but that's been fun too. And yeah, not really a whole lot else. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
not
I
an
get that.
eventful few weeks really.
All right. Thank you very much. Then what about you, Toast?
we lost a real one today. Today, last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, no one's ever really gone.
True.
Don't worry, she just stopped her streaming activities. She'll pop up everywhere else, but not streaming. So it's okay. I guess. Except for the teammates who will keep crying. So, who really died that day, Luigi?
All right. Well,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm
Does
talking
it
about
not?
what?
What?
No, you forgot. He forgot.
Oh.
You already forgot.
You already forgot.
I forgot.
He's talking about Ame.
No, I thought he was. I thought when he was talking about another, he was talking about another reference. No, I know we were talking about the Ame graduation.
Huh? No.
What?
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 What are you talking about?
I'm
What are you
talking.
talking? What the
I am
fuck are
talking
you
about
talking?
Ame. What are you talking
Yeah.
about, Spire? Who did we lose? Who stopped streaming other than Ame that I don't know of?
No, the thing that you just. No, never mind. All right, go
What?
on.
I
What
said
else
she
did you do?
stopped streaming and that she would appear in other stuff, but we still lost the real one. What are you talking about?
No, the thing that you. Never
What?
mind. Can we just go on? Can we just go on? All right.
What else, bro?
What
He
else?
told me to go on, so I'm done apparently, right?
No, he said go. Yeah, I
No,
said
as in,
go on. What else do you have with your
I
2
don't
weeks?
know.
what else do you have?
I
Yeah.
saw a Cybertruck. That's it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It
I
was
unfortunately
embarrassing
Throw
also
an
as
egg
saw
at
a
well.
it?
Cybertruck.
Apparently, it's one of my neighbors.
Nice. So you could see it
Damn,
on the
bro.
regular.
Let us know. Let us know how long it takes for that shit to rust.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't ever park close to it because I know there have been like some actual like weird explosions or whatever incidents, right? With that
Yeah, there
friggin'
With the
was
Cybertruck, yeah.
Cybertruck. Yeah.
well, just
Like
Teslas
I
in
actually
general. I think there was
put
that
my
incident.
car, yeah.
There
Oh
was the
wait a
incident
minute.
recently where the Tesla blew up in the garage because of that the hurricane in Florida, I think.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like charging in the garage, and I guess because it's a fucking hurricane, water got into the charging port, right? It just blew, like
Mhm.
it just burst into fucking flames. And famously for electric cars, there's like literally nothing you can do once it lights on fire. Like you just have to let that
Yeah.
shit burn out. So
Yeah, because they have like a special form of like the fire is like a specific like form of fire. I forget what the
yeah,
name was that like
like
it's
putting
very hard to
water
put
on
out
it
by a
does like
professional field.
fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
So
I think
yeah.
I
It's
think that's
good.
specifically because of the lithium, right? Like
yep,
lithium
yep.
Yeah,
burning, you can't
Yeah,
exactly.
the
like,
batteries.
yeah.
Yeah. And you can't actually put people near it because it's like again, like even they can't, like once it catches on you, you can't do anything. It's
Yeah.
fucked. So yeah, it's very unfortunate, but yeah, just be careful. Don't put your stuff around it.
Oh, he's not. He's
uh,
not that close to me,
yeah.
but he's in the
Um,
neighborhood. So
okay, yeah. Unfortunate, but it
how's
does
it
happen.
unfortunate? Let the man
Unfortunate to
have
see
his.
those
Unfortunate that
getting
I said
it's
sold.
unfortunate
unfortunate
that somebody bought one of
for
those
that you,
I
things.
yeah,
guess. But let
unfortunate
the
that
man
you
have his
came
Cybertruck.
across it. Yeah. But anyways, I guess for me, I haven't done too much, just gone around it's mostly been real life stuff. I have had to run around a little bit. I bought um a couple of doohickeys for my kitchen and also trying to survive. I don't know
What
whether
kind
this
of
is like
doohickeys?
fourth or
Are they
uh,
single use or multi use?
it was an extra not a cast iron, excuse me, carbon steel pan because I've been really into carbon steel pans recently. And then another one is
Strange type
just
of
like
autism.
it's really
Remember,
good because it's like
The
it
bro's like,
has good mouse-like properties.
I need one to look at,
Yeah.
one to use.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I live alone, but I like getting extra pans for some reason. It's kind of silly. And then I also bought um like a bread cutting knife-ish that's serrated knife that can also properly cut stuff like brisket. So I bought one of those.
And
But
also
yeah,
human
I like it.
flesh. I get you.
Yeah, I just walk around with those at night.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've just been trying to survive I want to say fourth or fifth heat wave now. Well, not heat wave, but it's like the fourth or fifth time where temperatures have just turned up during the week for no reason to near summer levels. And that's really nice. And I have to constantly now wear moisturizer sun cream, even though it's like October now. So that's that.
Climate
But
change is not real.
yeah, we're just gonna be like we're gonna be like that those monks just burning in protest. It's like climate change isn't real. It's just
True.
like we just burn charcoal bits. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet so far. Just waiting for the new season to come up. So that's been pretty much about it. But yeah, I think with that, we'll get right on to the reviews. Again, I will warn you guys that our reviews will be relatively brief this episode. There's only one episode of the anime out, so there's only so much we can do. Starting off, I guess I'll go first here. I have 365 days to the wedding. So that's manga original. Japanese name is Kekkon Surutte, Hontou desu ka? And this also, I believe, got a live action drama adaptation before it got an anime adaptation. But the original, I believe, is a manga, and the manga story and art was both done by Wakaki Tamiki, excuse me. And for those of you who don't know who that is, but it might seem familiar, that is also the artist slash story, the writer behind The World God Only Knows, Kami no Miso Shirasakai. As well as later on, I believe now is it couple seasons a year ago, 16-bit sensation, right? That was
Yeah,
like 2 seasons ago, right? Uh, maybe three, 3 seasons
something like
ago, I
that.
think.
That
Yeah,
that's the one
wow.
with American Saber.
Yeah, exactly. The American anime or whatever it is, that timeline. Yeah. But yeah, it is Tamiku Akaki of Aqua Plus, as well as the World God Only Knows fame. He made this, got a live action adaptation, and now a manga adaptation. Sorry, anime adaptation. The anime adaptation is headed by Ashi Productions, who has done Smartphone Isekai, In Another World with My Smartphone, Makra 7, and this season they're also heading one of the series that we might be covering, which is How I Attended an All Guys Mixer, the Gokon anime. So they're kind of juggling a couple of balls this season, but they have had that experience, and they've tossed over some of the other like editing and second key animation jobs to studios like they're working with Mishima Editing Room, Jumondo, and Naz. Their staff right now for this is um, sort of a mix of th- so yeah, it's like a mixture of newcomers and veterans. They have some Gonzo studio connections from the director and the director's work in Akiba's Trip. So the core of this team is director Ikehata Hiroshi, who helped work on stuff like FLCL Progressive, which doesn't it's not a great start, but BEM Become Human, Akiba's Trip the Anime, Magical Destroyers, Tonikawa, and Kiratu Puri-chan. And he has often worked as a duo with Hyodo Kazuho, which is his sort of script writer buddy, his series composition buddy, who has worked with him a lot on a lot of these series. So he kind of got he and obviously the producer at uh Ashi Productions kind of helped gather together this motley crew of newcomers and veterans, again with some connections from their Akiba's Trip experience connection work. So they've gathered that sort of general crew here, but nothing of real like note in terms of general kind of thorough lines. This the voice acting staff is, on the other hand, is pretty much all veterans compared to the art and directional staff who are it's kind of like a mixture of some newcomers and stuff like that. So with uh with the voice acting cast, we have Kumagai Kentaro and Hayami Saori doing the main lead roles. And then with the supporting cast, you have people like Koshimizu Ami, Fairu Zai, Ochiai Fukushi, Nakato Joji, Asumi Kana, Toyama Nao, Genda Tesho. These are all just either super long-time veterans or at least someone who has had major roles for a minimum, who has had, major roles in anime for a minimum of 5 years. So they're all pretty much straight up big people. right now or a longtime veterans. So pretty thorough, good list here for at least the voice acting end. Going over OPED real quickly, the opening I believe is Kira Kira, and this is a Honeyworks I guess music piece song, yeah, Honeyworks song, featuring Hako Lily, who is who serves as the vocals for the opening. And as of this, again, the opening ED, opening ending animations for the anime haven't come out yet, but in terms of the Honeyworks thing, it's a Honeyworks song. And it's a very standard Honeyworks kind of J-pop, lighter J-rock, lighter J-rock or upbeat J-rock, excuse me, song. And if you guys don't really know what I mean when I say it's a Honeyworks song, a lot of people kind of are just like, kind of know it, at least in Japan, kind of get what I mean when I would say, yeah, it's a Honeyworks song. If you check out some of their songs, they all sound very similar in terms of either BPM or in terms of just like booting up to the major key and then just having a very um upbeat kind of song, regardless of maybe some of the lyrics and stuff like that. But they are all kind of uh marked with a very similar brand. So whether it's something like Kaekute Gomen ne, Gomen, which is sort of I guess their current flagship, I would say, song right now, or whether it's something else, right? It's a lot of it's like songs about love, songs about being in a relationship, stuff like that. So there's like the heroine, right? That's another one of their openings. Heroine Tarumono, something like that. Um, so it's a very Honeyworks opening. The ED, I believe they said it was supposed to be Tsumariwa by Gohobi, but I believe who is like a general like a J-rock band, but they have not released their work yet, so I have not heard of it. So it's a little bit unfortunate. So can't give a proper review of the ED there. Overall, the audio visuals, I would say, the BGM is pretty standard. There's nothing really stand out. But visuals, the visuals, I would say, is a pretty standard, like Wakiki Tamaki character design with kind of smaller, narrower eyes and um, kind of like a smooth, like more nondescript kind of face. And it kind of reminds me of how the standard kind of I want to say dilution from a manga art style to a an anime art style kind of happens. So, for instance, Hisasi's stuff, artwork, right, in something like Netoge, happened from pretty often from his light novel works art to the anime original, right? Shun is another very good example, right? His Edo manga or his dojin kind of Edo dojin art was relatively detailed, and then when he was helping with the designs and stuff in Shokugeki no Soma, the anime, the art was quite diluted from the manga because of the nature of how the animation has to roll, right? The animation processes. So, in a similar manner, it's been a little bit diluted, but I think it's still okay. It's not like there's some Studio Dean crap going on, right? It's okay. The animations are not like super flashy or anything like that, or like it's not like 60 FPS kind of stuff, but most of them just them standing around talking or being in offices or petting a cat. So there's not really too much need for moving around or showing off specific animations. So it serves its purpose for the most part, the audio visuals. So the story, right? I'm just gonna go over the story real quick, the premise real quick. So everybody in the cast is in are employees in a travel agency, the JTC travel agency, and they are recently looking for people to staff their branch office over in Alaska, which nobody wants to go to because it's freaking in Alaska, right?
What's wrong with
Uh,
Alaska? Alaska's pretty cool.
yeah, but living in Alaska is another business, right? But
I mean,
it's
would you? I'd live in Alaska. Looks like a
I would
cool
not
place
live
to
in
be.
Alaska.
It
Why
kind of
not?
depends on the part of Alaska and how rich you are, like
Yeah,
realistically.
if you have all the money, that's also very different, I think.
Yeah, even then,
Um,
have fun being pretty isolated.
but yeah,
Isn't that perfect?
well, it depends on what you. I know
Until
some
you
people.
need
I
like
have some
food and
people.
medicine and
Yeah. Well, it's also
grocery.
I know some people who just like literally said to me when I was working with them, I just want to go off to when I retire, I just want to go off to the middle of nowhere. I don't want to interact with people. I just want to be in my house alone. And some people like that. And some other people, like myself, I do want, convenience stores and stuff. The the um advances of technology, I do want those near me for myself at least. So it's kind of different for everybody. But
What? So where would you live? In a satellite
what?
orbiting Earth?
Yeah, retiring to the
That sounds
ISS.
kick-ass.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Um. Yeah. I so yeah. Going back to the story. So the travel agency is looking to staff their branch office in Alaska, and because the manager says to them, okay, well, because it might be a little bit too much to ask an entire family to move, their entire family from here to Alaska. We're only going to try to push to send unmarried people over there to the branch office. So then the two people who are not married, the male character in Ohara Takuya, voiced by Kumagai Kentaro, as well as Honjo Jirika, voiced by Hayami Saori. So Ohara Takuya is sort of like a shy nerd guy with fuzzy hair and frizzy hair and glasses, and he kind of gets pushed around by the managers, and he's like, "Oh, what do I do?" Boy, he's that kind of guy. He's the pushover guy. Um,
Now,
and
are they the
then
only non-unmarried couple in the entire business, or are they
I,
singling them
bel
out because they hate them?
I think in their like department or whatever, they're like the only ones that are not married. Um, so Uh, but yeah, those two. And then Honjo Jirika is a very, very, very Hayami Sao fitted pigeonholed and fitted for Hayami Saori character, the very like quiet, like, I'm gonna do monologues to myself. I'm just gonna think to myself, that very like quiet kudere kind of girl, right? Um so those two are unmarried, and they, under this sort of potential threat of getting pushed to Alaska, they decide to get married, or at least, you know, kind of put up the pretense of getting married. Um, so so they're like, okay, let's kind of set this up. Let's kind of think of how we're going to talk to everybody else about how supposedly we're going to get married and what our sort of stories are, stuff like that. But the problem is they are just about acquaintances. They're not even really friends. So they have to start from step one. So that's sort of the story of them getting to know each other from step one, and becoming from going from acquaintances to being friends to being kind of married to trying to marry each other, and kind of dealing with each other in their lives, right? Presumably. So again, this is like episode one, and from what I saw, I think it's very it's kind of similar to what I saw in something like Tonikawa, um, Over the Moon for You, right? The one written by the Hayate no Gotoku author,
Yeah.
where it's kind of similar to an after story kind of setting where they're kind of pretending to be married, they're living together, and they're kind of dealing with all the stuff that comes. And there's not that much will they, won't they, although obviously the main hurdle is, will they ultimately get properly married. But the characters, how they're set up, isn't necessarily terrible. I mean, obviously, you have the premise of, oh, he's a nerdy beta boy and all that. And it's like, and she's just a kudere who hasn't really given that much serious thought about love, and then they get to know each other. There's that sort of very relatively standard setup, but I think in terms of how they interact with each other, it's not like the main character. It's not like Ohara is like always jumping at random stuff. He's like, "Oh my god, what do I do? Oh my god, oh no, panties, boobies. Oh my god, I can't see the oh." Like it's not like they made a caricaturistic personality. It's a very just like yeah, he's just nerdy or like he kind of is a pushover, but he's gotta do this. And similarly with the Kudere girl, Honjoji, she has her own thing. She has her monologues, but it's not like she's constantly kind of exemplifying the kudere vibes. It's not like she's constantly going like, you know, um, I have I have no idea what love is, so you got to teach me. It's not like some I don't know. It's not like some Violet Evergarden shit, right? uh, so I think the smoothing out, the I don't want to say muting, but the more organic gradients and nature of these personalities make the anime probably a little bit more palatable. Obviously, the biggest hurdle to watching this series is the premise, which is a little bit of a hard sell, right? Because, um, well, the premise is the main hook to a series. So I think this series, I kind of want to watch the live action or maybe read the manga original, but I feel like this series will be okay as long as it completely puts the Alaska threat or whatever on the back burner. And what I mean by that is, like, obviously they're going to kind of put it away while they focus on the couple kind of forming, but the whole potentially going to Alaska, the manager pushing for it, and any sort of developments in the anime or manga or whatever stemming from that needs to be minimal at best and should honestly be treated like a joke. Because the whole point is not really that. It's the whole like, oh, I'm a shy nerd boy, and I need to get along with this kudere girl. So how do I do this? That's really the only point to this, and like how what it means for people to start from step zero to all the way to becoming a couple, right? That's the whole entire thing, and it's not this whole Alaska whatever it is bullshit. That's just like bad, right? It's just railroading, right? And railroading should be done at to a minimum, right? Or should be minimized. So if they shove that to the side and focus it all on this, and then get over, I want to say the second hurdle of potentially not being repetitive of just relying on the shtick of, oh, but I'm a shy nerd guy, so what do I do on this date? If they kind of shy away from that a little bit, and try to go through the motions a little bit more, and have the guy do maybe some stuff that's potentially a little bit more bold or shows a different side of him. Something like maybe what you saw in, say, Shikimori-san, right? Where they did kind of had like different dynamics in different contexts, slightly different contexts. Obviously, they still had the shtick of Shikimori-san being the cool one, right? But there were slightly different dynamics. I think if they show those slightly different nuances, then I think it would be, and as well as better introspections and retrospections of what it means to become a developing couple, I think this series will be decent. If they kind of repeat the same shtick of, oh, I'm shy girl with kudeta, or sorry, I'm shy boy with kudeta girl going on a date. Oh my god, I'm so shy and pure. If they repeat that shtick, and also if they make the Alaska threat significant, then the series is out the window. It's no good. Um, for now, I think it's in an okay place. I'll give it a uh yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's pretty much just like straight up there. I don't think the audio visuals or anything that are super like stand out. I don't think the voice direction was particular standout. It's very standard. Oh, Hi Misare, please do a Kudeta voice. And Kumagai, please do a shy nerd boy voice. And that's pretty much it. And the other voices are very like Asumi Kana, you can hear her inflections from a mile away. And so with same with Koshimizu Ami, they're not any different. It's just their voices. And the story again is relatively average. I don't think there's anything super standout about it. But I do think that the way the situation is set up is slightly novel, which or it forces a slightly different perspective in the whole like starting from zero, and it's not um and it also doesn't come from a place of how usual a lot of these rom-com series that are like a couple starts from zero and eventually gets to love each other. A lot of them come from antagonistic or tsundere vibe kind of series, right? The most obvious being something like Nisekoi or whatever, right? Where they're like, huh, I'd never go out with somebody like you. And then they have to almost start from negative to, becoming couple, right? Um, it doesn't start like that. I think it starts from a much milder place, which is slightly more novel to me. So that's why I wouldn't give it necessarily a lower score than 5. But I think other than that, it's all pretty much average. So pretty much straight 5 out of 10
So
for
I
me.
think the most interesting part of this IP, I guess you could say, since I'm talking about the
Mhm.
manga here, was have you seen the covers for the manga chapters?
I have not.
So what's cool about the covers for this series is that chapter, and I don't know when they did this. I mean maybe
Oh, I have
from the
seen. Yeah, they
get-go.
have like the different like
They have the
wedding
different wedding
dresses.
attire
Oh,
from
that's cool.
different, like all different cultures. So like
Yeah,
there
the
is one
cultures.
where
Yeah,
he's wearing
exactly.
like, like the what's it called? The Shirari, I think. Like the
Hmm.
Indian that with like the flower necklace and everything. Like that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That I think is a really touch, a really fun
Yeah,
touch
yeah, they have the different wedding outfits. It's yeah, I've
for a
seen them
series like
now.
this.
It's really good. Yeah. Yeah, Wakaki Tamaki is very good with his art. It's like I don't think anybody will begrudge him that. I would say the only problem maybe with Wakaki Tamaki is potentially how some of his writing tends to patter out near the end. But with something like Kami no Mizu Shirasakai, which had so many chapters and so much like kind of pace changes, alterations, it was kind of inevitable. But it is what it is. So I think this one is probably a very standard one to play out. So in the manga and how the drama is stuff like that, he probably planned it out pretty decently. I mean, there's only so much you can do anyways, but yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty average. Um but I would give it a 5 out of 10. So yeah, that was my review for 365 days to the wedding, or also known as Kekkon, yeah, Kekkon Surutte. Hontou desu ka? This is by Wakaki Tamiki, originally, the manga writer and artist for Kami no Mizu Shirasakai, The World God Only Knows. It has been made into not only a live action drama adaptation, but now it's got an anime adaptation by Ashi Productions. Uh, so yeah, if you want to kind of watch a more mild Tamaki Wakaki romance series pan out with a very mild premise, please do check this out. All right, so that was my series here, and next on the line here we have Toast. What do you have for us?
What?
What do you have for
Show.
us, Toast?
I have another series. I have a sequel series to the to other ones that share the same name.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Hell
What?
yeah, dude.
Huh.
So there's Blue Lock, right?
Uh-huh.
And then
I
there's
knew where you
Blue,
were going.
and then there's Blue Lagoon, and there's Grand Blue, and then there's Grand Blue Fantasy.
There's Blue
Okay, the
Exorcist
group
too.
of fantasy.
Oh yeah, true. The Blue Exorcist.
Blue
Yeah.
Exorcist, thank you. What else?
Fafnir and the Azure.
Sorry. Perfect Blue. Remember that?
Yeah.
True.
Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water.
Yeah.
Blue Dragon. Blue Gender. I don't know. I can go on.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah.
so
So
what blue series do you have, Dosed?
Blue Period. Okay. So no, I'm sorry. Blue Box.
Yes.
And
Blue
I looked
box.
I looked it up, and because it has to be called that for some reason, and apparently the blue box is the name of their gymnasium that they call it, which is weird.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it is blue box. This is manga original, I believe, right?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's Telecom Animation Film Studios. They've
Yes.
mainly done a lot of what is it, kind of background stuff, I think.
I don't know,
But
man. But what are you calling background? Are you calling the Lupin movies background? Tower of God, Nagatoro-san, Orange?
Are they leads on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they also did PSO2, the animation. You know, the
Which one?
the isekai one.
Okay.
Futakoi. Oh, Mutsuki Kanban Musume. That's a what? They did the Death Row Inmate Baki season? Huh. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, look, they also did Blue Thermal, another blue. Tideline
yeah,
Blue.
more
Oh,
just
more
a
blues.
second blue
This is
series.
the blue
The
studio.
blue cinematic universe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
heard of Studio Orange. This is Studio Blue.
But yeah, continue, Spire. You were saying you wanted to no? Okay, I'll go. And yeah. There's only one episode out, and conveniently, it's on Netflix. But
Wow.
unless you have Japanese Netflix, they have episodes 1 and 2. But not us Kai Guy Nikis. No, we have to wait. Is it 4 days? The October 10th for season or episode 2, which is a shame because only one episode in this series is kind of interesting in a way. So you got the main dude, name's Taiki Inomata, and
Mhm.
he's in love with his senpai at their illustrious Aimei Academy, which is like a sports integrated junior high/high school with the major like a sports academic program. So but yeah, so he's in love with the ace of the women's basketball club,
uh
Shinatsu Kano, who is voiced
yeah,
by
yeah.
but
No, yeah, the star player of the women's basketball team over there, right?
is
Kano
voiced
Tsunetsu.
by who's voiced by Ueda Reina. I don't know who that is.
Ueshawa, Ueshawa. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I guess Taiki's voiced by Shoya Chiba, who
uh-huh.
is
Who does like a lot of like lighter, higher voice roles, if I remember correctly, right? More like kind of Genki.
he's the guy
Get
from
I
Classroom of the Lead. He's the main
yeah,
guy in
I know he
Classroom of the
also
Lead.
does like a
Uh,
lot of he does a lot of a 2D idol, male idol kind of roles as well, if I remember correctly.
he's the main character in Shoegaze. Aofuji Masaki. I don't know
Wow.
who that is, but
Yeah,
you should.
he has stuff in like Item Master Side and so on as well. So yeah.
Nah, he's in there. 86. Yeah. So yeah, and remember the question we posed that why is why is a guy on the badminton team in love with uh the chick from the basketball team, even though they're different sports, but they want to go to nationals together? We talked about that during previews.
He's
No, you
just
forgot?
infatuated with someone who plays a real sport.
No, apparently his mother played on the women's basketball team,
All right, I mean that's a
which will
little
come up later.
Freudian,
Which
but
will come up
sure.
later, but apparently he plays badminton because he hates being a team player. He tried out for the basketball team
What?
once and he never passed. He likes being the
Are there
center of
what is it? He
attention.
just never does doubles.
I guess not. He likes being the center of attention and whatever. And he says if he fails, only he fails. He doesn't let the team down. So I mean, That's the reason, right? I guess that's why he's on the badminton team.
I guess. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like other sports you could pick up for that. But
I mean,
Yeah.
but
I don't know why.
sure. But badminton, sure. I
guess.
mean, go for it. But yeah, there's not much happening in the first episode. But yeah, he every day uh, he goes to practice early in the blue box, the Aono Hako, aka the gymnasium, because Chinatsu's there every morning practicing her basketball stuff, and he visits her because he likes her and whatnot. And in the first episode, we learned that Chinatsu's potentially going overseas because there's talks of his mom told her his mom told him that Chinatsu might be going overseas with her family, I guess, to study in American basketball. Maybe American basketball.
Study America, man.
I don't
Yeah,
What?
bro, she needs to
uh,
learn how to flop properly.
like what other countries primarily focus on basketball? I wouldn't know. I assume America though, because they usually
I
go to
think
Well,
America for these
American
kind of things.
WNBA is
Yeah.
probably the most prominent at this point.
yeah, it's the most prominent. Although recently, American basketball has just been getting trounced on the world stage. But it's like the thing
All right, I mean,
what
listen
is
up.
funny.
We demolished in the Olympics, okay? Like, let's not.
Yeah,
It may have taken people
I
like having LeBron James
yeah,
and
it may have been like Kevin Durant like literally just dragging like he's like carrying everybody on his like fucking wide ass bag. But
may have
the
taken
thing
like
is,
3 legends to be on the same team
yeah,
to do it,
exactly.
but
um, but what I wanted to say, the thing I found funny is not necessarily the prominence of American basketball. Of course it is, but the fact that the construction of this setup is, yeah, we're gonna go over to so my daughter can be with the American high school basketball teams or
yeah,
the
that's true. Yeah,
I
it's still
mean,
a high school
I
team.
assume that because she's the ace of their.
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's pretty
It's
funny
always
as
like,
well.
yeah, and going overseas to train is a common thing that you do in sports, anime slash manga. So yeah, I guess.
Mhm.
But then he goes to her and he's all like, "Please don't leave," or whatever. And she's like, "Okay." And then he wakes up, and then suddenly she's living at his house. And that's literally the first episode. But do you know why the reason that she's living at his house?
Well,
It
Probably
actually,
because
this
her
all
is an
family
important reason.
still left, right? Like,
yeah,
I would assume that was
her
not.
family go her fam. I don't know why her family's going overseas. Like it never explained. I thought it
They
was
were
for
going to
like
hang
her.
out.
I thought it was for her basketball stuff, but apparently not. I don't know. Maybe.
It's like
But
fuck you, we're out. It's like okay,
I mean, it's just one episode, so it'll be explained later probably. But yeah, it's
yeah,
because
okay.
I mentioned earlier that Taiki's mom, or did I mention earlier that Taiki's
Yeah.
mom was was part of the women's basketball team? Did I mention this earlier? I don't remember.
Yep.
But and
Okay.
it turns out that Shinatsu's mom and Taiki's mom were teammates on the same team, and because they're alumni at this school.
Okay.
So that's the reason why they're living together, because their moms are friends. And she's like, "Hey, can my daughter stay with you guys because we're teammates to, I guess, train for nationals?" That's the reason why
Okay,
they're living
then.
together.
Wow, this might be the only normal occurrence of like this situation happening in a fucking anime.
Because, his mom's an alumni of this prestigious sports academy, and so I guess that's how he got into. But, he plays badminton, I guess.
Mhm.
So, sure. And that's literally the first episode. Yeah.
Okay, so can we go over, I guess, the well, let's go over like this like what do you think about I want to say how the premise has been set up so far?
So far, in one episode, the story is all right, I guess.
Do you think it's going to
It's
so
kind of
give yeah, where do you think so okay, let me phrase it so that we're not like necessarily doing the whole like stream of consciousness or anything like that. So where do you generally predict how you think the story is gonna pan out? Like your standard like if this was a very standard anime, you know these sorts of anime, like the girl and the guy are stuck together or whatever it is, right? And the guy's just like, I want to go higher because of X objective in like a sports series. So you know this sort of general standard setting, and if it was standard, where do you think it'll go? And uh B, like a spin-off of that question is where do you think it'll go if it was poorly directed or poorly written? Like a bad places it'll go. So
I
first
don't
off,
know
where
what
do
he
you think
just
it'll
said,
go?
so I'm gonna continue. Anyway, uh,
What I'm
so
saying is
far,
give your predictions on where the story might go and places where it shouldn't go,
judging
essentially.
from the overall vibe of this series, it's not a sports series. It's a romance series
It's pretty much
primarily.
romance,
Shocking.
yeah, with like a sports like
Because
theme layered on it.
I
Yeah.
didn't learn any cool badminton trivia or basketball trivia.
Uh-huh.
Just badminton's like, wow, okay, yes. It's very much focused on the relationship between these two characters and then their sidekicks and whatnot. So it's definitely going to be more romance focused between like, oh, she wants to go to nationals because she has this unfulfilled dream. Because they mentioned in the first episode that the reason why he fell in love with her is because uh, after junior high, when she just barely skipped national, or she barely missed national, chance to qualify for nationals, she went she pulled a Shiro. It's a
Uh-huh.
reverse Shiro situation where what's his name? Taiki saw her in the gymnasium all alone practicing her free throws, and she was crying with a determined face, and she's like, "Damn." He was like, "Damn, I'm into that." Just like how Shiro was practicing what is it? Was it the high jump or the long jump? High jump, right?
Yeah.
And then both Sakura and Ren were like, "Damn, I'm into that." So I guess he fell in love with her at first sight with her determination and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So that's cool. I don't know. Yeah, feels like a romance series.
Mhm. Are you continue do you, are you okay with continuing to watch it despite that? Do you think it's okay of watch at least for you? I'm not necessarily talking
To
about
get into that, I have to explain like the characters because I believe the characters are pretty well written. I mean, Chinatsu is by far the best character in this series. By a lot, she's her personality is pretty cool. She's strong-willed and whatnot. Um, Taiki's kind of a is it kind of the bumbly. He's kind of the bumbly in love, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, main character, where he still struggles to talk to her, and he's just like, "Oh, Shinatsu Senpai, I want to marry you or whatever," but like he's never gonna say that out loud. But and whatnot. He's definitely not
is
the cool
there
type. He's the bumbly protagonist type of guy to the cool older senpai who is Chinatsu because he calls her senpai. So I guess she's the older
uh-huh.
one.
Have
Um,
you seen any hints of potential love triangles forming, either in terms of like here looking at stuff, seeing stuff on the internet that's like about the manga or whatnot, or stuff that's implied and foreshadowing? Do you see any sort of love triangles forming?
the only love triangle I might see is he has a childhood friend who's a girl who's on the gymnastics team, whose name is
Oh
like
my god!
Hina.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Or
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that was the
voiced
one
by
from the cover.
the
Yeah.
pink one, which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
oddly enough, I think she was in more of the opening than actually Chinatsu,
oh,
which was kind of a red flag to me.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she's voiced. But what's her name? Hina is voiced by Akari Kito. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, some random person.
Some chick. I think you might know her from
The Slayer of Demons.
is she there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Akari
I
Kito's
know
literally like
she's Tsukasa from Tonikaku. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Akari Kito's biggest role right now is Nezuko in Demon Slayer.
Who's Nezuko? Oh, the sister, right.
Just
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, sure. But yeah. She it's kind of the way she teases him, and she's known him since childhood. It's kind of obvious she's interested in him in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I guess the other male friend who's on the same badminton team as him,
Mm.
Kyo, is voiced by Chiaki Kobayashi, who uh who apparently is voicing Saito in the the other Blue series this season. The is it Blue Wolves? Aono Miburu?
Yeah,
The
I don't know if you
the
bro.
Wolves of Mibu? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
In terms of just
he's a
the
serious type. But yeah, overall, I don't know. The personalities are written well, as say they're not overly dramatic or whatever.
okay.
So um,
In terms of
not much to go on.
just the audio visuals, can you go over that real quick?
Uh, Well, for what it is, the audio visuals are really, really good.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. I guess lighting. I just want to say very good lighting and shading throughout the series. Probably it's probably the best looking series that Telecom Animation has done. I did not watch Tower of God, so I can't really say anything about that.
Hmm.
Wasn't
But
great.
over But overall, of the series that I see on this list, it definitely looks better than PSO2. Definitely looks better than Nagatoro-san, and definitely looks better than Orange,
Mhm.
Blue and Orange. But yeah, I want to say the way they move, like when Shinatsu does her jump shots, it's very well animated. Like I
Okay.
want to
So
say
they're kind of
almost
focusing
to
a
the
lot on
point
that, which
of
is good, at least.
I want to say almost to the point of rotoscoping, but very good movements. It's not choppy at all. Very
Oh, okay.
human-like. I wonder if
Is
they
it
did it
blended?
using.
What is it? Is it like pure 2D? What's going on there?
It looks to pure 2D. There's no. I want to say the obvious CG is one with the basketball net,
Yeah, yeah, which is okay. Yeah.
and the shuttlecock and the background characters
Uh-huh.
when they're in the big gymnasium when they're all practicing together. You see like the gymnastics team over there, the basketball team over there, badminton team over there. I guess maybe I think it was soccer.
Hmm.
You can tell those are 3D CG, but they all move pretty decently. You know, they're not stiff and whatnot. So props to
Right,
that.
right.
There's also some fun camera angles where there's a POV of is it Taiki running uh, back to the gymnasium to see Chinatsu because right after he heard that she might be moving overseas, and it's a POV, and you see, and pretty good looking POV where you see the blur lines and the buildings and whatnot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Zooming down the not the hallway, the road, I guess. There's a lot of fun camera angles to pan out. There was one where they did a citywide view, and you see the
Oh, okay.
cars that were also CG, but they're cars, so whatever. Yeah, overall, I mean, looks pretty good. Very good looking series. Very good
Hmm.
lighting. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. There's some fun shots of Chinatsu that people really like to post on Twitter. It's like, oh, this series looks really, really good. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Should have gone to Blue Lock. Should have the money. Should have gone to Blue Lock.
I mean,
But
they
yeah,
won't be wrong. So yeah, very good
okay.
audio and visual. The opening is it same blue or Same blue? I don't know.
I think it's Same Blue. I think it's Same Blue by Higedan, right?
Hidan Dizo, which and I looked it up because the opening looked very suspicious to me. And the opening is done by Wit Studio.
Yep, the opening only is done by Wit Studio. Yes.
And that bothered me because I was like, why does this opening look so good? Is this the same studio? But no, apparently it's not.
Yeah.
It's Wit Studio.
Probably with Studio taking on some jobs to get probably money on the side because obviously they haven't necessarily been in the best financial conditions recently. But yeah, they took on some OP work and it looks good. I saw the OP myself.
I want to say it looks suspicious because when I watched the series and I saw the opening, I was like, this opening looks slightly better than the actual series through the lighting.
Hmm.
But maybe that's where they got their ideas from.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they saw the opening, I'm like, damn, we can probably do that. And they amped it up. So it's
Nice.
comparable, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Except, yeah, so they did a good job on that. Then
Hmm.
the ending is Teenage Blue by Eve. What's with all the blues?
Yeah. How's the ending?
So it was good. I want to say the opening is much better.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is like obviously I'm not gonna disparage the ending or anything like that, but Shigedan is Shigedan for a reason, right? So it's very hard to very hard to cross that hurdle. You know what I mean? So
I might even say it's top 3 openings this season.
probably. I mean, again, it's like
Probably.
pretty good.
The other two are obvious like
Yeah.
obvious. You got Creepy Nuts being Creepy Nuts over there. Then you got the
Hmm.
Rama opening. It's like damn. But you
Hmm.
know, pleasant surprise that this one's probably going to be up there. I want to say I'll put it on third. Sure.
Okay.
Uh,
I guess overall, what would you
Overall,
give this? I know again, it's not like it's just one episode, but
actually,
if you had to give it an initial score, let's call it an initial score. Let's not be like, oh, it's full review score. An initial score.
initial score, it's pretty good. Like I
Okay.
said, pretty. It's not super out there. It's pretty down to earth. Uh, Down to earth character interactions and whatnot. Lots of shots at Chinatsu that people will like to see because you know she's the main focus, and she outshines everyone else in this series, which is a good thing. It
Hmm.
has a lot of potential, is what I've got to say. But one episode in, for one episode, yeah, it has a lot of potential. So I have high hopes for this series. It looks
Okay.
good. It's pretty. Story's pretty good. Characters are pretty good. Um, Overall, I'm gonna give it a high. I'll give it a high 8.5 out of 10
Yeah. Okay. Pretty
because
good.
if I want to say if 7 is average, this is a high 8.5 right out the gate.
Okay.
I mean, I can definitely
Um,
see this getting better as the series goes on.
yeah. A lot of it does depend on development, but there are definitely highs that it can go to, as well as potentially lower lows. But
The only real
yeah.
downside I see is badminton actually a sport?
Yeah, it's bad with accent. Some people would say no, but you know,
I mean, well, let me rephrase that. That's kind of unfair.
Hmm.
Is badminton as much of an illustrious sport as women's basketball in, I guess, Japan?
It's probably gonna be honestly the source of some of like the potential love triangle or like maybe rivals to the main character, right? Because it's like, oh, I'm doing badminton, but then there's a men's basketball star that's coming up or whatever, or like there's like some American blonde haired pretty boy that comes in the later chapters or something like that, right? So that might be a thing. But
I mean, I'm looking at the character list, and the only other dude that might pose a threat is also on the badminton team. So I'm like, okay, never mind.
badminton rivals, yeah, yeah. But anyways,
So yeah, I guess that might be a major point in the series. Like, oh, well, because I should have mentioned, but apparently Taiki sucks at badminton. He's not an ace at all.
what the
He's second stringer where he gets knocked out in the first round or whatever. So he
uh,
sucks at badminton. I don't know why he picked
okay.
badminton, other than I want to play alone. But he's got to work hard to get to nationals to be on the same level as her, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
each his own. It's fine. I can accept it because the story is pretty good from the
yeah,
dregs that I've seen.
yeah,
So yeah, high 8.5. I definitely recommend this series because it's definitely going to be talked about.
yeah. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much, Toast. Again, the Toast series was Ao no Hako, also known as Blue Box. This is, I think, manga original, but adapted by a Telecom animation film with an OP by with studio, as well as the OP is sung by Higedan. So even if you're not necessarily going to immediately go and watch the series, at least check the opening out. Uh, Overall seems like a pretty smooth series right now. So initial pretty high score from Toast. So. Thank you very much,
It's
Toast.
a shame. I will say it's a shame that this is the only one that was available to me. It's
Yeah, if you could have given it
for
maybe
the
more of a
I,
review
I would
into
have
later
I would
episodes.
have
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
given it more time, but it was the only one that
yeah.
I wanted to watch that was out at this time. So unfortunate,
Okay,
but
yeah,
good, but pretty good if it's this good from one episode.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Toast, for your review of Ao no Hako. And now we move on to Nier. You have something that has been running around a little bit on social media.
Is
Would you
this
like to share it
also
with us?
was it this also on Netflix? There, we're Netflix buddies.
Um,
It wasn't.
I think so. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it was, yeah.
I think it's so. Uh, it's on Adult Swim. I know that much.
Oh yeah.
I watched Uzumaki. Yippee! Yoop, yoop.
Yes,
Not
based off
Dude,
the
I love
from
manga,
Naruto.
Naruto.
but
Not
no,
from
not Naruto.
Naruto.
No, the worst part is that you have to clarify that in this day and age. That
Yeah,
actually pains me.
I
Like,
watched the scary Uzumaki.
Did you know? Did you know that?
I don't know, dude. Pain is kind of intimidating. I don't know if you've ever
My
seen
pain
him,
is
but
greater than yours.
Did you know that Sanji's original name was Naruto
That's crazy. A
because of
little
his
fun.
because of
A little bit of trivia.
his swirly eyebrows? But then he heard that, hey, another little boy, another one of his coworkers, posted a series named Naruto. He's like, oh damn, I better change
You
it.
can't call him that because I'm making my character Naruto.
Yeah.
All right, bro. But yeah, Uzumaki, manga original, obviously, same name, done by the one and only Junji Ito. You might have heard of him. You might have not have.
Yeah, name one series Junji Ito has done.
Uzumaki.
Oh, What's your favorite Junji Ito series? Nerd, I guess shorts near story.
My favorite. That's hard. That's hard because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a Junji Ito hater.
Oh boy.
Um,
I wouldn't say hater, but I'm a critic, let's say.
my
Yeah.
favorite is The Hole in the Wall.
That one
That's a
is strong for sure.
that's a classic for me.
Yeah. I feel like the hole in the wall is really strong mostly because it's just short enough to not have any like really dumb bullshit in it.
Would you climb into a hole in the wall near?
I
I would.
probably would not do that,
What?
but
I
that's
would.
mostly
Oh yeah.
because I don't really like being in holes. So, minor pet
Let
peeve
me
of
let me
mine.
ask you, Near. Do you like sleeping with a pillow over your head sometimes?
Not at all. No.
Okay.
dying,
I do.
like
It's a nice feeling.
smothering yourself. What do you mean?
Do you like
Base
sleeping
as
bags,
fuck.
Near?
No, not really.
I
Not
like sleeping
particularly.
bags. I also like sleeping in coffins. So There's that.
Or okay, Dracula. Like,
I mean, you ever
bro is
you
really getting into the October season.
ever
yeah.
sleep in a coffin? It's very relaxing as
Blue.
long as you open the top part
Uh-huh.
so you can breathe. You need to breathe.
Can't say
Otherwise
I've
you
had the
die.
opportunity.
You should try it
Anyway,
sometime.
this is
Uh,
a what is this?
I think
Studio
it's Drive?
Akatsuki.
Akatsuki.
Um,
It's like a co-production between I think Akatsuki Drive and Fukaku. I think
yeah,
the main ones are Drive and Akatsuki, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
yeah. I think Fugoku's like CG. I don't really know. Maybe in betweens. But yeah, Akatsuki. I think the last like thing they did on one main production was what the fuck was this? Housing Complex C, which I think was ass, and
It was
Itadori
not good. Yeah.
Midori, which was ass.
Yeah, which was not good.
And they
I
also
watched a little bit
did
of that.
like assisting production on Shoegaze. Wow, crazy.
Yeah, it was part
Um,
of their kind of general lineup, I think, recently, doing shoegaze into this series as well.
yeah. So similarly to Shoegaze, this is a Adult Swim cross production IG production. They're I guess the main producers behind this. A little bit of backstory. This anime project was announced, I think, almost 6 years ago now. Which is not really the norm. Typically,
Yeah.
when an anime gets announced, it comes out like either the year of or the year after. So this probably went through a little bit of production hell. If I had to guess, probably some contracting issues. As for the series itself, the main idea is basically the two main characters, Kirie and Shuichi, are girlfriend boyfriend, and Kirie is a dumb fucking retard, and Shuichi is paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And Shuichi notices that his dad starts acting really fucking weird, and he's also a paranoid schizophrenic, and he starts talking about spirals constantly. And turns out the spirals have some sort of strange, significance in weird happenings going on throughout the town. And the story sort of is I guess, collection of events that sort of happen within the town that are all loosely centered around the main characters. And then shit gets absolutely fucking bonkers insane by the end. But it's a pretty.
Yeah, like a lot of
I think
stuff. Yeah.
Uzumaki is probably one of. I think it probably is Junji Ito's like most famous manga,
I'm
right?
just surprised that it didn't get published sooner, in my opinion. Like I'm surprised that like because I thought the order, honestly, for those of you who don't know, Junji Ito has had other stuff published, right? Most infamously in the last couple of years, the Junji Ito anthology, right? I think, I'll,
Yeah,
and I say infamous specifically because it
it wasn't
was
very good.
not, yeah, it was essentially buried in the back. It was at best hidden away because and not marketed very well, and at worst, it was just a dumpster fire, right? And I thought at least they would have a test run with something like an Uzumaki or whatever else, right? Or the
You'd think, right?
yeah, or the infamous I always forget the name of it, the one with the holes, right?
Yeah.
The what is the name
The
of it?
Enigma of Amigara Fault.
Yeah.
Yes, Amigata Falls. Yeah, thank you very much, Toast.
I
So
mean,
I thought they
so
would
hold
run.
on here. You're saying you wouldn't listen to the Call of the Void? I love the Void.
No, I probably not.
So
Yeah.
you're saying if you saw a giant hole that led into the dark, deep dark to the earth, you wouldn't go in?
No,
I
I
would.
don't.
I
I don't
love
think
the
I
Void.
would.
Not into holes, yeah. But yeah, so I thought they would at least do like a test run with that and then go into the Junji Ito anthology. But apparently not. They just are like, yeah, we'll just randomly make this anthology first, because Junji Ito or whatever, right? And then that failed. So
Well, keep in
I
mind
was a little bit worried.
this was announced before the anthology came out. I think.
Oh, it was?
I think so. Like this was
Oh my
announced a long
god.
fucking time ago.
Hold on, it
So
wasn't part
Jesus
of the
Christ.
Junji Ito collection? I thought that would be.
No,
Isn't that a famous one?
no.
No, it
Huh.
wasn't. What he was saying is that this was announced before, like this project, this Uzumaki project was announced before the anthology project. But the anthology
Yeah.
project was released after or before Uzumaki was, is
Yeah.
what he's saying.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised this anime didn't come out like, cause Uzumaki the manga was published, I think, back in like the 90s, right? Like late
Mhm.
90s.
Yeah.
And it really gained, I think it gained most of its popularity, at least in the West, like like '08, like, you know, '08 or
Mhm.
early 2010s. And it, like, I feel like that's when like Junji Ito really kind of blew up in the West, right? And I'm
Yeah.
surprised like that sort of resurgence in popularity didn't spark a project back then. But
Yeah, I'm
you know,
surprised he didn't have older stuff back then, but I think it's also that part was how do I say this? It's a lot of Junji Ito, I think back then was still, or at least the anime format, right? When Junji Ito was a lot more in vogue. Although he is slightly in vogue now, but when he was much more of a bigger name, I think the series that people wanted to animate back then were definitely a little bit more different. That's unfortunately, I think, why he never got the chance, right? A lot of it was still sort of that escapism, right? The whole like mechas and so on. So it's a little
yeah.
bit unfortunate, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, here we are in the current year, and we
Mhm.
finally have this project. And it's
So
an interesting one, for sure.
yeah,
So to start off, this is a 4 episode series. Each episode
is it? Wait. So is this only gonna be 4 episodes? What is happening here? Is it like FLCL? What's?
that seems to be the case. It seems to be
Jesus
four
How long are
Christ!
these
episodes.
episodes?
They're full episodes of 24
Is
minutes.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest. It's just I don't like. I've everybody knows I don't like the 12 episode anime season, but I dislike the 4 episode anime season
yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. I think
It's
it's
not great. Um,
yeah.
although, um, Uzumaki was like what, 3 volumes? So like
Mm.
they could fit it, I guess. Although
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
even in the first episode, there's quite a few truncations, I will say. Um, but yeah, the only thing to really talk about, I guess, I mean, the story's the story, right? I think most people watching this are either gonna know Junji Ito already, or
Yeah.
they're probably gonna have already read Uzumaki,
Or they're gonna be like
or they're gonna
introduced
be
to
at
somebody
least,
who by somebody who's like,
yeah,
"Oh,
like
bro,
somebody's like,
Jujito, bro."
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't think I really need to talk too much about the story. Again, there's a few
Yeah.
uh truncations here and there, but nothing like super important. The audio visuals, I think they're the main talking point here. Um, and they're an interesting bag. So it's black and white to start off, right? It's completely 100% fully black and white. And it's it's there's a lot of rotoscoping in this series, like a lot. There's a lot of rotoscoping, and there's actually so much rotoscoping that in the middle of the episode,
What?
I was like, "Who's directing this?" Because this looks really
Oh
familiar.
no! Oh
And
no!
wouldn't you know it, it's Hiroshi Nagahama. And you
Uh-huh.
might take a wild guess at what he has directed in the past. I'll give you one guess.
Something flowers.
Yeah.
Something
Akunohana?
flowers.
So back in 2013, he directed Akunohana.
Oh shit, really?
And
Nice.
yes. And
Yeah. I already knew what he was
yeah,
implying
I
before.
was just
You-
taking a wild guess. Hell yeah.
yeah, readers or listeners may know that Akunohana is one of the most beloved series on this podcast
Yes.
for
Lovely
many
rotoscoping.
reasons.
Yes.
Mostly due to the fact that it's fucking hideous. And it's fully rotoscoped. And
God.
this, it has a lot of rotoscoping. There's quite a bit of
Mhm.
rotoscoping. Pretty much any character movement that's not like a close-up face shot is rotoscoped.
Jesus Christ.
And it's
man.
very odd looking. It's a bit jarring, but it's not terrible. It doesn't look bad, I'd say, but it is very odd. It's a bit odd to watch,
Mhm.
especially because like there's a lot of frames here, right? Like there's quite a few frames, and one could argue that the sort of odd, uncanny nature of the character's movements sort of plays into the horror element a little
Mhm.
bit, sort of, but I feel like that's a bit of a cope.
Yeah, one could argue that.
Yeah, you could argue that, but I wouldn't buy into it. I just think it looks kind of weird. And the the frames themselves aren't bad, right? The sort of I think the main issue here with the audio visuals, besides the rotoscoping, is that so when people think of Junji Ito, right, there's a few sort of like iconic panels that sort of come to mind,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And outside of those iconic panels, right, like those iconic moments, there's not really
A coherent story.
yeah, like Junji Ito doesn't really have like I don't really know how to describe it, but he doesn't really have that great of like a storytelling method
A
outside of
continuation.
like
Yeah. It's not like
it's
not
kind
like
of
he does like
like
a build up and like a resolution. Like he doesn't
yeah,
really
it's
do that.
kind of
Yeah.
like, the character stumbles upon something, a scary thing happens, the character screams, it shows you the scary thing, and then the world almost kind of resets in a way.
Right.
To where all the characters' minds get fucking wiped. And it's like that thing didn't just happen. And we're not gonna question why the fuck that just happened. We're gonna move on to the next scary thing.
Yeah.
And the way that this episode flows is very similar. I said it earlier, Kirie as a character is fucking brain dead, right? Her
Yeah.
only purpose in the story is to move from one scene to the other, witness something scary, scream, and run away. That's really her only purpose in
Right.
pretty much the entirety of Uzumaki, especially the manga. Like she's pretty much just constantly running away and screaming, and crazy shit is happening. And Shuichi is supposed to be sort of the character that realizes what's going on, and tries to stop it, right? But ultimately is powerless to, you know, the strange occultic cosmic forces at play. But Shuichi kind of also serves the same purpose in this story, where he's like, yeah, bad things are happening. We got to get the fuck out of this town. And then he doesn't do that. Like he just doesn't do that at all. Like he never even tries. And that's kind of like the whole episode is it's Kirie going from one thing to another and being like, huh, that's weird. And then she sees something scary and she screams. And then Shuichi goes, oh, this is so fucked up. We gotta get out of this town before something bad happens to us. And then they kind of like forget that conversation just happened. And then they do another fucked up thing. But yeah, that's kind of just how most scenes flow. And I feel like the animators themselves were a bit lost as to like how to fill the space between the basic sort of initial setup of you know like say for example Kyrie knocking on the door to seeing Shuichi's dad doing the weird fucked up tongue thing. So the characters kind of just like wander
Yeah, the issue
around
is what you're saying
until
is that the storyboard is suffering because of the lack of proper setup and like kind of
yeah.
pacing and like development of the story, right?
Yeah. So you have these moments, right, where the anime is kind of just like sort of, listlessly meandering about like in
Uh-huh.
terms of storyboarding and visuals and animation. And then it gets time to do the scary scene, right? The panel that everybody knows about, the scenes that everybody knows about, whether it's, the dad doing the swirling thing with his tongue, or being in the fucked up
Right.
like barrel, or, the girl with the eyeball like swirling around in her forehead.
Hmm.
It does.
I like the part where the eyeballs swirl down the spiral
Yeah,
into the drain. That was cool.
it was quite good. So like they know how to deliver on those scenes, right? Because obviously that's what everybody's watching for, right? That's like that's what the animators are working on the hardest, because the most of the material they have from the manga, right?
Hmm.
But sort of everything in between that is kind of like, yeah, we're just like kind of gonna rotoscope some dudes walking around and awkwardly shuffling, and you
Uh-huh.
know that'll be good enough, right? And it's like it's good enough in terms of being an anime, but it's not really like
Yeah, but it's not really like if you're recommending, say you want it to be like, hey, watch this Junji Ito anime series. It's like it's based off horror stuff. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Blah blah. You wouldn't if you showed them this, you wouldn't impress them, right? Is what you're saying?
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there's also an issue that I have with. Now, it's been a while since I've read Uzumaki, right? And
Hmm.
I do remember in a lot of the panels, just the random panels, there were little swirls and spirals throughout the paneling, right? Whether it be, you know, a gust of wind, in the background, or um, on the side of the street, one of the drainage channels, like the water in the drainage channel has a little whirlpool in it. Um, and in the anime, they have a lot of these, right? Now,
Hmm.
the issue is you can't really have those be static, right? You have to animate those. And
Uh-huh.
the issue with animating those is that they happen a lot, right? And when you have like these constant moving spirals in the background, whether
Oh
whether it be
yeah.
these gusts of wind, or the clouds in the
Right. Right.
sky, or
It
again the
becomes
the
like
water in the
nauseating
drainage
almost.
pipe,
Yeah.
it's kind of comical. It's a little bit silly, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like beating you over the head, where it's like, dude, there's a fucking spiral in the background. Dude, isn't that fucking weird? That's fucking weird, dude. Um,
More spirals than Gurren Lagann, huh?
yeah, it's just a bit.
If you
It's a
see a
bit too.
spiral in the sky, it's usually a tornado.
Yeah, it's just a bit too much, I think.
Mhm.
And I respect the animators for trying, right? Because again, there's a lot of little details that obviously they wanted to, include here and there. Um, but I just feel like it doesn't work quite as well in motion as it does in a manga panel, right?
But near, isn't
Um,
it in black and white? Doesn't that
it
alleviate the
is.
situation?
I would say, if anything, that makes it a bit more obvious, right? Because there's only two colors that you can use to shade in a spiral, right? You have white and you have black, um, and so it's a bit harder to make it subtle in the background, because it's all just gonna be like shades of gray, right? So yeah, um,
Mhm.
but yeah, those are
Well,
most of my
I
gripes.
think
I will
what we can
say,
so not to be too well. What I want to do is potentially give like a not like a devil's advocate, but because it is ultimately about spirals, but what would you have suggested as like a general alternative to like the spirals being animated everywhere and like kind of emphasizing that? Would you be like when the actual proper scary part comes, then would you be like, or is just about to happen, then would you be like, okay, then the spirals start animating? Would you be kind of like that, like
That'd be
clearly
wouldn't that be
delineate
too
those
on the
parts?
nose? Be like, oh, the spirals are moving now of all times.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
kind of
That's
weird.
like the downside is like, would that, but would that maybe be one thing, or what do you think? Maybe potentially.
Um, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of moments where like they do zoom in on like, you know, uh, like like moving spirals and stuff, and they're like, huh, that's kind of odd, right? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the characters are like, huh, yeah, that is kind of odd. That's kind of weird. And that's about it, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, it's tricky, right? It is a tricky thing to balance. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna post this screenshot, and
yeah.
this is for very, very like this is like the very beginning of the episode as well. And just like kind of like showcase what I mean, right?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. It's just like they're hidden everywhere is what you're
yeah,
trying to
they're kind
imply.
of
Yeah.
just like all over the screen, and it's like I get the idea.
It's almost like one of those weird, like older point and click adventures where everything just like had on the screen like had some sort of like weird kind of thing, and you're like the
Yeah,
whole point was like you're supposed to look everywhere essentially.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like there's a point where it gets to be a bit
a bit much.
goofy, right?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's just it's a minor gripe realistically. But it is something that kind of took me out of the viewing experience. To be like, do we really need all this?
yeah, exactly.
Is all this really necessary? Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I will say in terms of audio visuals, it is generally good. It is fairly, it's got a nice style to it. They do translate the style fairly well. Rotoscoping aside, it is interesting to see them do the black and white shading. Um, it would be kind of interesting to see more series kind of try to tackle the black and white aesthetic. Maybe something like, you
What if
know,
Akuno was black and white? Would that make it look better?
no,
Well,
no, I don't think it would. But no, yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I do think the studio did a pretty good job at translating, what they
Yeah,
could.
I think the major
Again,
issue is
the
probably not
key,
like that. Those spiral things were not because necessarily of the studio. It was more because of the original source, right? I think.
yeah, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of those little hidden details in the paneling itself, right? And so they were trying to, tackle that, be like, hey, we could do this. But I think they might have tried to throw a
Yeah.
little bit too much of it in sometimes. But again, it's a minor gripe. I do think they deliver on the sort of, again, those key panels, those key moments very well. Um, the eyeball was done very well, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like, because the eyeball scene in the manga is almost uh, it's almost like an impossible space thing, right? It's like a Euclidean geometry kind of optical
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
illusion going on, right? Um, and I think they translate it to, you know, motion quite well. Um, I will say the bit afterwards where she gets like, black holed into her own body was a bit less impressive, but the eyeball scene itself was done quite well.
Mhm.
And yeah, as for the music, um, I mean, it's about what you'd expect. A lot of scary strings, ominous.
Is it relatively minimal or what
It's
is it? It's
pretty
more like
it's pretty
orchestral.
minimal, yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's a lot of kind of just when a
Like
scary thing
pizzicato, like
happens,
strings. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there'll be the violin, um,
Hmm.
and then
String
whenever
plucking, stuff like
whenever
that.
it's a
Yeah.
bit more somber or chilled out, it's just kind of like um, sort of uh, subtle synths here and there, like just kind of you know noise basically.
Right.
It's done fairly well. It's pretty minimalist. It's fairly immersive. But yeah, audiovisually, I'd say they did overall a good job. I'd say
Mhm.
they definitely they definitely knew what they wanted to do, and I think they nailed it pretty well.
Mhm.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I had fun with it. Again, there's some weird truncations here and there, but
Yeah,
it's
but I mean, it's to be
to be
expected of
expected.
a 4 episode
Yeah,
season.
it's
Yeah.
4 episode series, and it's
Yeah.
also a 4 episode series of a Junji Ito series. And
Uh-huh.
again, not to be, I don't want to be like a fucking straight up hater, but there's a lot of shit.
I
There's a lot
think
of
it's too late
shit
for
that you
that,
can
yeah.
cut
Yeah.
out of Junji Ito stories, and it's like, this improves it actually.
Yeah, listen.
This
I
would
mean, if
be
there are
this would be
any
better if
doubters, go read Gyo.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of just stupid shit in some of the stories that are not really necessary.
Do you
Mhm.
think there'll be a season 2 of this, or just these 4?
No, I think they're probably just gonna cut it down a decent amount to get through either most or all of this, right? Because Uzumaki, like as a story, isn't that long, right? Uh, especially once shit hits the fan, it kind of just goes a million miles a minute and then ends, right? So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's probably just gonna be a decently chopped up 4 episodes, and that's probably gonna be it. Uh, and again, this project had quite a bit of development hell, so I imagine Production IG is probably looking to just wrap this project up.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah. Going over the voice cast really quick. Shuichi is done by Shinichiro Miki, you know, um, industry veteran.
Yeah.
Kirie is done by Uki Satake, who's a much lesser known name in the industry. Her
Mm.
last like main role was the robot in Space Dandy. Um,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, so I think she's one of those people that kind of just pops her head into the voice acting industry every once in a while.
Mm.
Um,
Or like
Azumi,
sometimes people just have a little bit of hard time getting roles just because,
yeah,
of the amount of labor available, like supply available
yeah,
in the
for sure.
industry. Yeah.
Azumi, the eyeball girl, is Issei Maria. And then pretty much
Oh, okay.
everybody
Money same.
else
Yeah.
is, handful of supporting cast. You have
Yeah,
Wataru
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same.
Hatano, Takashi Matsuyama. A lot of old heads, a lot of old names.
Uh-huh.
Pretty
Mhm.
standard fare. Um, and yeah, no OP, no ED. Um, it does a fairly sort of Netflix series title logo crawl thing that I will say looks like absolute dog shit. It's like they took a PNG of the title logo and they did the swirl effect on it in like After Effects or something, and they're like, this is good. That's good. Let it run. But yeah, and the credits are just like a black crawl
Mhm.
with music. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
What would you rate it?
it's an interesting thing, right? Because I think it does its job well enough. But would I recommend it over reading the manga? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think this is mostly for people who are like, they like the manga, they want to see it in motion, right?
Hmm.
And if
No
you like the
matter no
manga,
matter the cost, no matter no matter
yeah,
what else.
if you
Yeah.
like the manga, you're probably already gonna check this out anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
it's a tricky recommend. If you like horror stuff, it's definitely worth checking out, right? It's one of the more famous Japanese, horror series out there. So, um, I'd probably rate it something like a 7, maybe a 6.5, depending on how It gets truncated in the future episodes.
I get it near 6 because it's a spiral. That's funny.
True. But yeah, it's not bad by any means. I dare say, as an adaptation, it's pretty good. But I'm a Junji Ito hater, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You're gonna have to defend yourself in the comment section after this one. But
true.
yeah.
Yeah. I think they did a good job, but
Yeah, I don't think the studio is to really. Again, it's like they did as much as they could with given a 4 episode um restriction
yeah,
and a story by Junji Ito that is not the easiest to make into a sensible storyboard, essentially.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
from here, from like episode 1 onwards. Well, actually, I think because the absolutely insane shit in Uzumaki is like the last like handful of chapters. So like it's gonna be interesting to see. Like I don't know. I feel like the episodes 1 through maybe the first half of 3 will probably be fairly normal, and then the end is just gonna be like absolutely fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see for sure. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Nier, for helping to cover Uzumaki. Again, original story by Junji Ito. I know, again, this was something that kind of popped up on social media quite a bit, so thank you for covering it. Sorry, I had to sneeze. This is a series, I believe, anime adapted by combination of Katsuki Drive Fukaku, headed in production by Adults and production IG USA. So please, I guess if you are a fan of Junji Ito stuff, this at least is slightly better than the, um, significantly better than the Ito anthology collection. So please do check it out. And last, but definitely not least, we have Dark. What do you have for us?
Oh boy, I have a series it's new. You wouldn't know it, but boy is it new airing this season.
Uh-huh.
I am covering what is this? Rekishi ni Nokoru Akujo ni Naruzo,
Yes.
which I'll become a villainess who goes down in history.
Yes.
Um yeah, so this is a villainous reincarnation series. Just for
Surprise.
background info, this is being done by I believe
Maho
Maho
Films?
Film. Um and yeah, this is a 12 episode or 13 episode. Pretty normal in that regard. Um but as far as synopsis goes, Alicia is the eldest daughter. Wait, what? Yeah, she's the eldest daughter of the Noble Williams family. I'm pretty sure she's also the only daughter, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why they would write it like this because she has two older brothers. So like that's
You
kind of a really
you
stupid
have
fucking
as
way to
many
write this.
questions for you have
Um
as many questions as I do when
anyway, yeah. So
reading these.
so, it's the typical setup. She's very good at with dark magic, like her bloodline. She has jet black hair,
Yeah, she's
golden
supposed to be an
eyes.
evil, like villainous,
Yeah,
essentially
so
set
she
up.
is, and as far as what happens is, she wakes up she's in bed one day as like a kid, and she regains all of her memories from her prior life, which
Uh-huh.
was someone who's addicted to this Atome game that she's currently in. Um, and again, you might be saying to yourself, "Gee, haven't I seen this before?" You'd be correct, because the premise is she wants to become the best villainess she can be, and to avoid being exiled, as that is like her character's end, which is literally just exactly something we have seen before. I forget what series was the one specifically where it was someone who was avoiding exile, but obviously there is the one of the earliest ones, which was the death flag. All roads lead to doom or whatever. And unfortunately, this series does really nothing least in the first episode, to break away from any of these. So really, only unique factor, which is not unique at all, is that the main character Alicia wants to be a villainess. She does not want to be like a goody two shoes. Now that would be really interesting. Well, not really interesting, but that would be more interesting if it didn't do the shtick where she's like, I'm gonna be evil, and here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be evil by making these plans and suggest this, and what she winds up suggesting is like not evil whatsoever. But she like perceives it as such. It is literally the same exact premise. If someone had seen was it Tear Moon Kingdom from a couple seasons ago?
Oh yeah,
Except
yeah.
done far worse.
Sure, I
Yeah.
like how you were. I thought you were gonna. I think some people expected far better,
No,
but you
no,
straight
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely not. Like, not even remotely close.
Mhm.
Especially like even for a first episode, like yeah, not a good first showing in that regard.
Did the author for the original series write anything else? Have
Of
they
this
written?
series, that's a good question. This is a light novel adaptation, by the way. So
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah,
see.
yeah.
Let me see if I'll has this even in so let's see, as far as story goes, looks like no. Which
Okay,
like
okay,
I
okay,
mean listed
okay.
on Mall at least, so
Mm-hmm.
but so bad sign. Um because yeah, unfortunately the series is doing literally nothing original. Outside of that, like, you know,
Shocking.
Uh-huh.
even down to yeah, like down to the characters, you know,
Yeah, this is their
obviously it's
first
all
series.
of the
This is their first
same.
series.
It's all of the same Atome game characters you would expect, even down to
Uh-huh.
the like Shota character being voiced by what's his name? Why can't I think of it? Literally like flip a coin. Oh yeah. Flip a coin. You know what? Take a guess. Take a guess what the Shota like blonde haired like femboy character is being voiced by. It's a coin toss, really, as to who it could be.
Ayumu? Ayumu
Yes,
Urase?
yes. It's
Yeah,
Murasei
shit.
Ayumu.
Let's fucking.
The alternative could have been fucking what's his name? Also has been getting like so many of those roles now. He was uh in the JoJo Part 4 cast, probably like a really good pull for him. What is fucking I don't know. Either way, I digress. Oh, Yuki Kaji. Right? Like I feel like he's also been getting like some of those roles recently. But
Mhm.
yeah, so like this is really not doing anything remotely out of the realm of everything we've seen before, right? Like
Do you
Ayumu
think there
is playing this
a
character in every single
potential
fucking
path?
one.
Do you think is there a potential path towards redemption or what's going on here?
So the only thing that I could think of that is the path towards redemption is that, well, two things. One, the main character gets an eye patch later on. So like, you know, that's
Boy.
cool. Um but some of
That is pretty
the
cool.
some of the some of the art I had been seeing of like later chapters and stuff seemed to be way deeper romance, or not deeper romance, but like way more like emphasizing the romance between Villainess and what is the Atome games like male character, which is Duke, like that guy we discussed in the previews, Duke Seeker. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of like I don't know, what would you call it, like not really like saucy art of them together as like the covers, but I don't know, more of her seeming like and like her seeming like she's manipulating him in a way, or
Mhm.
not manipulating him, but sort of like has a, you know, a bit of a role reversal where she's going to be the one that's like kind of taking the lead on their relationship, and also like politically essentially, instead of
Mhm.
you know, in the Otome game, like it would probably be reversed for the like main character. But yeah, so like that could go somewhere interesting if it becomes a bigger, like a much bigger focus on just just their relationship, and really drops what would you call it, the more stereotypical, or like not even like will they won't they, but like going through consistently all of the guys in the Otome
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Like
And
if
it's
they
kind of
wind up
like
dropping that
yeah.
pretty
Mhm.
fast, I think
Mhm.
that could make this a little bit more of a fun focus of just like random, you know, happenings and political nonsense, but also with like a romance aspect to it.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
the
the
issue
problem is the issue
you
is that
you
in
wanted to
episode 1 they've already
yeah.
like she's not even grown up at all, right? Like she's still a kid in episode 1.
Uh-huh.
Um they gave a breakdown of like all like strengths and magic as well, where like the main guy is good with water, you know, the like Chota, voiced by Ayumu, is good with light magic, so on and so
Uh-huh.
forth. So like I think the big problem is like, you know, you're gonna get the fucking, obviously like we still have to get through like another like growing up thing. Then we're gonna have to get through some of the school, like early school stuff with magic and shit, I'm sure, and establishing like how strong she is. Um, I'm sure we're gonna have to get through like the male characters butting heads as well. So it's like I really, unfortunately, like I don't know as far as the anime goes, like unless this shit is like extremely truncated, um, even like as a series where they just don't spend much time on those things in the original light novel as well. Um, I don't really see this getting very far. Uh, so that's
Mhm.
kind of like the unfortunate bit where it's like I feel like the more interesting parts of a series like this is going to be in the later, the further you get in. So to not have that is kind of damning, I think.
Yeah.
But bit of a
My
shame,
question is
really.
also is that, as you said, I agree with you that it's probably best for them to go in a kind of statecraft-ish direction, right? It's like I'm gonna survive with my powers. I'm gonna, I'm gonna get out of here, stuff like that. Because it's
I
like the
mean,
whole
not
idea
just
is I'm
statecraft,
gonna
but like obviously like the politics of it all, and like and just her
Well, it
running
needs to have
essentially
a
the
backbone.
country.
That's the thing. It's like if they're not gonna go, if she's not gonna go around macking on all the boys, she ultimately needs to, not she, but the story ultimately needs to have some backbone to which to return to, right? Um, and that backbone is essentially going to be the easiest one will be statecraft, right? Well, unless you
Yeah,
think there might be other better
it'd probably
avenues,
be
but
like
it's like
magic and monsters and stuff.
magic and so okay, okay, that could be another thing, yeah.
Yeah, I would
But it's
assume
like
I
the
would
idea is
assume
like the
like
whole
her
villainous
dark
thing,
magic's gonna shine
right?
through.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
guess, yeah. You maybe it could be something like the black magic healer or whatever that Ultimate series was, right? You
yeah.
know the one I'm
See,
talking about, yeah.
that is also another thing that I was gonna bring up, where it's like, unfortunately, it's
Hmm.
like I don't foresee like this doing even the magic stuff better from that series, because I feel like that
Yeah,
series
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of really hit the ground running. The or rather, we may be talking about two different ones, but are you thinking of the level 99 like secret boss one from a couple seasons ago? Because she uses like
Uh,
black magic to heal people in that. And the
yeah, I know
gimmick
what you're
the
talking about,
gimmick is
yeah.
that it's really strong healing. It's just it looks visually disgusting when you have it done to
Uh,
you. Um this is more like, you know, Wolverine regeneration rather than, you know, pretty lights going off and you glowing and getting healed. Um, but yeah, so like there's even like a series like that where it's as far as like what's been set up, like how this first episode went, to me it just doesn't seem like it really will go places that are more interesting than that, than those series. So it's like kind of like all angles it's from here, it's just not as just really has not been as interesting to me. Like
Is it
It
is
just
it
hasn't.
mainly is it the lack of interest mainly due to the whole kind of spokes on the wheel? Oh, I'm just gonna go around to all the boys in the yard kind of business, or like what is driving the lack of interest? As funny as
Yeah,
the question might be.
it's a lot of like, since it is a lot of the same, a lot of, oh yeah, this is some shit we've seen before, type stuff like that kind of just wears on it, I feel,
Uh huh.
where just the way it introduced everything seemed a very like painting by numbers type deal, right? Like, oh well, we got to get
Mm.
out of the way, like we got to introduce the boys and we got to introduce the magic,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah,
got to introduce like how this character came to be, and then
yeah. Mm.
just not
And it also
having
says the
any.
focus is kind of on the boys right now too. So it's like,
Well,
yeah.
the focus right now is still on like the main girl. It's just a matter of like, it's not really doing any favors by being so like, so it's not doing itself any favors by introducing them in this way, in like such an uninteresting way, like just literally like basically having them
Uh huh.
lined up, like they're literally in a room together when
Hmm.
they're introduced, and it's like, really, like you had no other organic way to do this, like you couldn't,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
really had nothing else. You're just like, yeah, just put them in a fucking room, I guess. Like, okay, sure. So like that to me kind of does not bode well. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest issue, like that, the biggest issue this series does also have, or one of the major issues it has, is also that it's just like visually not great,
Impressive.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
Its audio visuals are not great.
Mm.
Audio wise, like it's not terrible. But like visually, it is like just kind of like shockingly just unimpressive, right? Like everything is pretty flat. The colors are pretty washed out. The like actual animations are not, like, nothing really impressive happens. Um,
Hmm.
you could say, oh, they're saving it for like the fucking, I don't know, later on during like a fight or something, but I kind of really doubt that. So yeah, just all around not a very impressive showing. They're really, it really is kind of the
Yeah.
most like, what
Stereotypical.
would you call it? Yeah, like every single piece of this, I'm like, damn, we've seen this before and we've seen it better and we've also seen it like
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, yeah. That's the problem. We've always it would be one thing if they improve upon the formula while having a very kind of standard like formula, but it's entirely another thing to have it be worse while it's still being all the samey.
Yeah, because it's like, man, we really like we've really just seen this exact premise.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I don't know. I just wish we wouldn't keep getting these villainous series that really are for nothing. Because that's the thing, right? Like I was really like, yeah, the villainous series from the villainous series that we were talking about, like the 99 level 99 boss one, was already like kind of stretching it, right? Like kind of really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really just like pushing it, of like, damn, we're really running out of stuff to do here.
Hmm.
And this is kind of like the most bare bones I think we've gotten yet, right? Because it doesn't
Hmm.
do, like I said, like it doesn't do the Tier Moon Kingdom stuff nearly. It, I mean, like I can't say it doesn't do the magic stuff as well because I haven't seen it yet, but just the kind of blasé nature they introduce it in, I don't think is gonna be as great either. I can't imagine the heroine here, or the villainess here, is gonna be like as interesting as or just as fun as the one from Death Flag. So like, yeah, I don't know. There's just like, it's kind of depressing, really.
Mhm. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's kind of it's a kind of curling of the monkey's paw. It's the people were like, "Oh, these fucking harems with the beta male characters and just him just going around and just macking on these stupid girls all the time and like these harem stuff all the time. Like, can we get something else?" And then we got
Yeah,
the
now we get
ultimate
a
stuff,
Villainess
and then it kind
series
of
every
and then
single
we just got the
series.
girl that's macking all the boys instead. Yeah, exactly. So a very unfortunate sequence of events, but what rating would you give it? What Mal rating? Or initial rating, I guess, sorry.
Um, maybe a like a 4.
4? Okay. That's
Yeah,
still better than I expected, to be
maybe
honest,
a
though.
4. I mean, maybe a 3. Honestly, it might be a 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just the problem is that there is like honestly potential depending on how they handle the Villainous and like Duke and Duke's relationship.
Mhm.
If that becomes more of a staple, that could wind up being its own. How it like kind of makes its own way. But kind of also depends on how long it takes to get there. So
Mhm.
bit of a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess this is something I'll definitely keep up with just to see like
Yeah, how it
does it
develops.
run the same? Yeah, does it run the same path, or does it actually just accelerate and kind of pass over a lot of that stuff to get to a more like dual mains? Obviously we'll still have the Otome game elements, but kind of
Mhm.
like, yeah, here's this main romance and the rest of the cast is like already just supporting.
You're
If it
right.
does that, then that could be a like decent difference to it.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, bit of a shame.
Mhm. Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate that more and more of these are coming out, and as a consequence of everybody kind of following the bandwagon, because when a lot of these sorts of series, like a lot of mecha series, or a lot of isekai series, or a lot of harem series, or a lot of whatever series, right, coming out, it's never in yeah, everybody's doing all really good things and everybody's all different. A lot of them will be kind of just like, yeah, let's make this, and then it'll be a very kind of diluted, not as great derivative of the better series, right? So it is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
and I will also say like the only other thing that yeah, this shit has a 6.92 on Mall. I really don't know how. Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe that speaks to just fans giving it fucking high ratings just because they know where it goes, but
Mhm.
this definitely is not like a true like mall like what you should expect from a series that has like a 6.9 on mall. I know
Mhm.
that could go either way a lot of times, but I feel like stuff that floats in that range is usually pretty decent. And
Mhm.
this is not something that should be even in that range for the first episode. So
Uh-huh.
beware.
Yeah, unfortunate. Um, but yeah, so again, very unfortunate, but sometimes these are how things roll, and like, I think uh, we got we got sort of the sense while looking at this season, the series this season and the past. I want to say 1 or 2 seasons, but I think many more of these are on the horizon. Many more of these kind of like derivative villainous series, I think, are on the horizon. These more ultimate game kind of style series are on the horizon.
Yeah,
We'll just have to see.
I will say as a final note, it is kind of crazy how quickly like because like I thought even like Tear Moon Kingdom was gonna be kind of a slog a couple seasons ago.
Uh huh.
Um, Kind of crazy how like even just removing like it is like kind of a hard to tell which comes first in this aspect, but like if you remove the Otome game aspect from something like this and the like isekai like Otome game shit from this, you kind of are already starting off like at a
Do
like
the same
more
thing.
positive place
Oh yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
how to tell a story, right? Because like Tearborn
Right.
Kingdom like does not follow like it is similar in some ways, but it really doesn't follow directly, and it's far more of like straight up just like romance and like politics type deal. Um,
Mm.
and which obviously with a lot of comedy, but overall, you know, I would say in the future look out for more series like that. Maybe I think that is kind of what the better chance you have at finding something is a little bit more original. If it's straight up just not an Otome game from the get go.
Yeah. But yeah. Very unfortunate again overall, but we'll hopefully maybe this series will be able to potentially redeem itself a little bit down the road. Again, I don't think you haven't read the original light novel or anything, but you know, hopefully there's are better developments um in future episodes. But yeah, thank you very much, Dark. This was Rekishi ni Nokoru Akujo ni Nazo, also known as I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, abbreviated as RekiAku. This is a sort of one of your kind of stereotypical villainous series. Turned out not to be not as great. Again, very unfortunate. Done by Maho Film or animated by Maho Film, light novel and probably web novel original. So yeah, again, a little bit unfortunate that it panned out like this. And with that, we are done with the reviews for now. We're going to go quickly over to the news. And I will, again, another warning. It has been a month since our last sort of news section. And since that month, there has been a lot of interesting news. So I'm going to try to blitz through them. It might be a slightly more extended news section. I'll try to not make it a 3-hour news section, but there is a lot of stuff. So let's go on. First off, Toyo Keizai Online, which is like a finance part of a finance magazine, reported on July 8th about the rights to Toriyama Akira's Dragon Ball franchise following his death. According to Toyo Keizai, the rights are currently up in the air since Toriyama's death, and publishers Shueisha, former Akio Iyoko Akio, and Bandai Namco were all in discussions over the future of Dragon Ball. So that's going to be interesting. You know, they're going to, uh, yeah, Dragon Ball creator died on March 1 of this year, and in his absence, the disagreements have continued and the situation remains unresolved. The article noted industry executives are hoping to come to an agreement with Toriyama's estate. I honestly think outside of a legit like lawsuit, almost like company versus company kind of lawsuit or something like that, or a ridiculous settlement for the family, I think it's just not going to get resolved, and it's going to be a terrible situation because all these industry executives are just out for blood. There is no way on in hell that any of them will is going to let go of the Dragon Ball franchise outside of like, you know, somebody slitting their throats essentially. So um it'll be a little bit interesting to see how this resolves. um Somebody made a weird like berserk fan animation project,
Yeah.
like a random studio clips, which is a studio based in North America, I think, or something like that. I think in America actually, mostly. And they posted a Japanese dub trailer of the fan animation on May 18th, and then an English dub version of the trailer on July 2nd. um with the announcement that episode 1 of Berserk, The Black Swordsman, is scheduled in summer 2025, stating that the project
Yeah.
will quote unquote adaptation of the stories that have been neglected of this medium, whatever that means. Um, so I
Uh,
think this is like a
Summer
studio that was just
2025. That is more than enough time to like hunt down every single person involved in this and hit them
yeah,
with the fattest of fines.
yeah,
Like,
and it's
good luck, fellas. Don't know
I
why
don't
the
know
hell you
how
would
they
announce this.
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how an entire kind of studio full of people got together. I think what probably happened was there were a couple of disgruntled people who thought they could do better than the new Berserk remake, and then they hired a bunch of subcontractors, right, or a bunch of like kind of freelancers to create this quote unquote studio, in my opinion, and then they kind of ran with it. But
Either that
you
or
know,
it's just a
whatever
quote
they
unquote
did,
studio that they're just giving a name and they all like do shit in their
yeah,
free
yeah, yeah,
time. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like this could just be a
Uh,
passion project. Like this is like, you know, this would be the
it's
anime
just very
version of
weird.
like those like massive Bethesda game, like, you know, full game length
Yeah,
deals that people make, right? Like, but don't know why you
yeah,
would announce this so early. Good luck. That shit is not seeing the light of day in summer 2025. That is my bet.
I don't
yeah.
understand like how many Nintendo IP fan projects have been obliterated by announcing it before it's released? Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
stop,
exactly.
I
stop.
mean,
Just
we
stop
saw
doing
what
it.
happened with Metroid 2.
Just release it. Just release the
Like,
game. Just
that
release
shit
it into
got
the
released,
ether.
and then they tried to kill it. So
Yeah.
like,
And the
Just
runaway,
you just
exactly.
yeah, you just release that shit onto the internet and then it's there. It's there forever.
Yeah,
There's like nothing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I think also it's a very the way this is framed, even by the studio themselves, quote unquote studio, equals for themselves, is
It's fucking
very
cringe. It's fucking cringe.
yeah,
To
it
be
is
like
crunch because
yeah, we're
no,
animating
yeah,
the stories that have been neglected. It's like, okay. Like
and also yeah,
even in
right.
the new Berserk, the only thing that they skipped over was the Lost Children arc, which
Well, I think what they really meant to say, I think what they didn't properly get the message across is simply that they didn't like the way that the new Berserk was animated, which is like, yeah, nobody likes the new Berserk. That's fine. But the issue is we didn't ask you to make a quote unquote fixed version of it, right?
yeah.
That's the thing. Like
And
if
again,
we
like
wanted
you could have just made a fan animation and released it
yeah,
onto
quickly.
YouTube, like and
Yeah,
just be
exactly, exactly,
like
exactly.
this is a fan animation. You know what I mean? Like it's not for profit,
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
these
yeah.
retards are already be like, episode 1 of our new series. It's like,
yeah,
shut
it's
up.
like that shit's not
Like,
happening. First of all, I'm gonna throw some shit. I don't think this shit looks that great. I'm gonna
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out with a
yeah,
hot
that
take.
too.
I don't
Yeah,
I
even
mean,
think it
yeah,
looks that great.
it
yeah,
Like
looks like a fan
it's
animation,
impressive,
right?
but
yeah.
it's like your shading looks fucking atrocious. Like for something in motion. Just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
Not a professional, but just my opinion as someone who's seen things before. It has very much that like overly, what would you call it? Like almost like it's got like too much shading in areas for something that's like
Yeah.
moving as much as it is, and it's like this looks odd. Um, that
Mm.
said, yeah, you're not releasing. First of all, like you're not getting to episode 1. Like, so to say like this is our episode 1, it's like no. Like, why would you even make a series? Also, really bad angling on this because like, to go this route, like you're literally your only outcome here is you're going to get fined. Like you're going to get fined and you're never going to be able to fucking like work in any capacity with like probably in the industry at this point ever again. Like you're fucked.
Mm.
The fact that you can just do like, hey guys, we got a fan animation, here it is. Like that would have been fine. That is something that like maybe people could take interest and be like, ooh, you know, this is technically like you shouldn't have done something like this, but it's a cool fan animation. Like turning around and being like, we're doing a series for the shit that's been neglected because like fuck you for making a bad one. We're gonna do it better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
and here's our trailer to release it in a year, as if like it's some like official capacity that you're doing this in. It's like, no, bro, you're just gonna get sued now, and no one's gonna want to like touch anything to do with this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So stupid. But yeah, very interesting. Again, nobody likes the new Berserk. That's fine. That doesn't mean a random North American quote unquote studio is gonna up and make something that everybody appreciates. And you know, as Nier said, if you're gonna do a fan animation, just put it on. Just put it on. Just put it on Newgrounds. Put it on wherever. Just let it go.
Yep.
Just let it go into the ether. Yeah, yeah. Next we have in light of again, the recent Sexy Tanaka-san incident. Nippon Television Vice President Fukuda Hiroyuki, excuse me, announced during the president's press conference in Tokyo on Monday that production on an April television project will be halted, according to a report by Sponichi Annex. Fukuda didn't give a specific reason for the change in production, but stated that the network was complying with the previously announced production guidelines. So these production guidelines were changed due to, again, the unfortunate live action Sexy Tanaka-san incident after the death of the show's original manga creator, Ashihara Hinako, due to her, her taking her own life due to the unfortunate incidences surrounding the studio. So, because they changed the production guidelines around that to make sure that the works that the staff were properly communicating, and B, that the communications will lead to a more faithful adaptation of the original source material as wished for by the author. Um, April television project will be halted, which honestly I think is obviously it's not great for the staff involved in that television project, but it's good healthier overall for the industry because that implies that there were other projects that were going down the same bad path as Sexy Tanaka-san, right? And potentially fucking over the original writer. So, having actual proper regulations that work instead of, oh, we're going to put in regulations and then more incidents like what happened with Ashihara Hinako happening to other projects, I think um, obviously that would be a bad thing. So having these actual projects stop because they say, okay, we went over the line, we were not communicating enough, we were not faithful enough to the author's intentions, we're sorry, we're halting this project. I think that's better than the alternative. So good, I think, example to come out of the news, and hopefully we see more stuff like this instead of bad incidents happening. Next piece of news. Studios Bones announced on Tuesday that it has spun off its production department and has established a new company, Bones Film Company Limited. So again, that's more them just more or less separating their department, right? It's like production and like potential like licensing rights and stuff like that. So a lot of studios have also been doing this recently, where they've had a specific production department, right? And they have a more kind of set of specific studios, right, that do more anime stuff directly and so on. The biggest example of this is probably Production IG, right, where they have their overall like IG port and their bigger companies do the production stuff, and then they have stuff like Signal MD, so on. Those are the direct studios. So Bone's kind of doing the same. Kind of shows that they've gotten a little bit of money in the recent years with their projects, which is good. So next couple pieces of news here. Some stuff about the industry growing. Uh, Media industry news. ICV2 reported on Friday on a presentation. Blah blah. State of the manga industry in the U.S. in the first half of 2024, according to according to Kristen McLean, senior executive director of the Circana Entertainment Knowledge Group. Manga and other Eastern Asian style comics, such as manhwa, made up the largest share of graphic novel sales in the 12 months ending in June 2024. But manga also led the decline of graphic novels in the book channel. So I think a lot of this is also just talking about the decline of physical sale copies, but also the rise of manga and manhwa in general. Manga and manhwa made up 40% of the graphic novel market for the 12 months. But overall print manga sales, this is not digital, this print manga sales were also down in 21% in the first half of 2024. So yeah, I think it's very standard trend that we've been seeing for a while. And the only question I have for that news is whether manga manhwa will take over a super majority of the market potentially in the coming years. So after that,
For what?
another piece of news. In terms of like digital manga stuff or digital graphic novel market stuff.
Probably. I think. Um, I mean, even in like the physical, like if you go to a physical bookstore, like fucking manga is already like half a fucking store, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
It could go as high as like 60, 70, 80%. I could foresee it in the future if, the pipeline kind of succeeds in
Yeah.
digitalizing properly. Yeah. And then obviously, some financial research firm, Teikoku Data Bank, published a report on the anime production industry for 2023. 22.9% growth for the anime production industry from 2022. So again, this is just like an increase in terms of overall increase in the money flowing in, especially after the COVID era. I think the digitalization, the increased globalization of the anime industry is bringing a lot of money. But and this is and also what we've been talking about among 301 animation production companies, 75 75 20 blah blah. Yeah. So what is it 75 companies saw decreases in their revenues compared to the previous year, while blah blah blah. Let's see this. Yeah. Um, Teikoku Databank previously reported that 39.8% of animation companies in 2021 were in the red, the highest ever in Teikoku Databank's records. Even if, there were other like 37%, the remaining third were in, um, see increases in the revenues as well as, staying afloat. So I think more and more companies are kind of studios relative to before are being kind of pushed out or being in the red or not being able to sustain themselves. So there will be again a consolidating effect here. So let's see this. Yeah, okay. So out of those, yeah, there are some other interesting numbers. So I would suggest again, if you guys are interested, go to Teikoku Databank's site. There is a report there for the anime industries, a report. So please do check it out. The Philippines imposed a 12% VAT in all form of digital retailers, storefronts, and media. So that's going to be a little bit of pain for Philippine anime fans. So this 12% value added tax will be tacked on Crunchyroll, Netflix, other stuff. So there's a decent amount of pain on that again, as well as Steam, Amazon, so on. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the anime industry over there as well, because that is definitely a growing market. That is a quite there's a lot of fans over there. That's a very popular market, as well as also for like subcontracting anime studios themselves. So that'll be a lot of money taken away from them. Karakawa announcing a new manga contest. More ideas for Karakawa, stuff like that. Companies seeking alleged Demon Slayer Jujutsu. Yeah, a number of entertainment companies, including Animecast and Toho, successfully filed blah blah blah. Yeah, an information disclosure order in U.S. courts for the identities of the owners of alleged leak accounts on August 20th. So this was a while back, but there was like leaks of like Demon Slayer videos and stills as well as Jujutsu Kaisen. So they file an order to disclose their IDs in U.S. courts. Um, so the companies are, I believe, yeah, I think they successfully did get the order confirmed by the courts. So they have they are actively trying to search for the IDs and get them out now. So it'll be interesting to see whether Japanese companies will be able to um, get the U.S. courts to cough up more and more stuff with regards to sort of international piracy cases, right? Because before they were kind of trying to chase the Hydra or trying to cut off the Hydra's head, right? Trying to chase all over, file injunctions, do whatever, like just complain to U.S. courts randomly in Alabama about stuff that was stolen, months back, stuff like that. So I think this is probably a first step towards them having potentially more power in the US to control information, to get information to stop piracy. But don't know whether they'll be successful even then. So, yeah. Anyways, that's a little bit thing.
Going
Couple
to
of
kill him.
people. Yeah, they're going to find them and
Yeah.
kill them. But yeah, a couple of people news here. First, very unfortunate news. Talent company 81 Produce announced on Tuesday that voice actress Shinohara Emi passed away on Sunday. She was undergoing medical treatment for an unspecified illness, but the treatment did not prove effective. She passed away at the age of 61. Shinohara was best known for Makoto Kino or Kino Makoto, aka Sailor Jupiter, in the Sailor Moon series. So again, please uh, wish her family and friends condolences. And the other news, this is a big one as well. Um, the Twitter account of singer Sayuri, who was a young singer who singer and guitarist who did kind of came up from the streets, and she ended up making openings for stuff like Rampokitan, for Licorice Recoil, for Kuzu no Honkai, for Erase, stuff like that. She has unfortunately passed away. So at the age of 28, and her husband and they before she said that she had a hiatus due to suffering from functional dysphonia, so which affected her voice, right? And she was expressing frustration at not being able to properly sing because she had to take a break, right? To sing and stuff like that, and that was sort of the last real major piece of news that we got from her on her condition. And now again, recently she did pass away. Um, so very, very unfortunate, I think, um, that she did this. Obviously, the causes of her passing away are unknown, but I do wish her husband, her relatives, her family, friends, condolences, and very unfortunate passing away. She was a very popular, up and coming singer. So, um, yeah. So, uh, and last, I want to say piece of news here. Um, Another kind of big event. Okay, there was apparently an anime song festival. Yeah, there was an anime song festival attendee that was arrested for alleged attempted murder. Suspect stabbed man at Nagano Añero Festa following dispute over the same favorite voice actor. Please do not do that. Uh,
What?
the suspect reportedly
Wait, of the
confessed that he intended to
same
kill.
favorite voice actor? They were like, this
Yeah,
dude
they
was
were
like,
like fighting
no,
over
literally
voice
no
actor.
one else can like
Yeah,
the same voice
I
actor
like
that I
him
like,
more.
actually.
Yeah,
According to the
exactly.
police, the suspect stabbed the victim multiple times following a dispute over having the same favorite voice actor.
Yeah. The suspect reported confessed that he intended to kill the man. However, according to investigators, he may have intended to target a different person whom he had a long grudge against, but mistakenly attacked the victim. This guy is crazy. What is happening, bro? Like,
I think he's
what?
pretty sane and rational.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty cool. He just missed. There was a mischance on his knife.
Yeah.
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 Um,
He
and
just
the
had a
last
bad
piece.
roll.
Yeah, exactly.
What song
And the
was it?
last piece of news, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
really, they need to release
Yeah,
who is
who's
the
the
voice
voice
actor.
actor?
Yeah, I hope honestly that information doesn't get revealed because I feel like that would almost shame the voice actor slash actress if it got out, to be honest. Um, but yeah, anyways, last piece of news, another big name. The official Twitter account for the disbanded Calafina singer trio announced on Tuesday that the trio will reunite for an anniversary concert at the Tokyo Garden Theater on January 15th. But hold on, the story gets better. However, Kaji Ryuki, the founder and former composer for the trio, made a statement on her Twitter account that she is not involved with the concert and she was not officially contacted by any singers nor the concert organizer. So, eh,
Very cool. Very cool.
okay. Like, Kajiura noted in her statement that she had hoped to work with Calafina again, but acknowledged that this is no longer possible and that Calafina and the singers have chosen to quote unquote walk a different path. So, like, guys, come on. Like, eh, come on, guys. This is almost worse than the whole Berserk thing because it's like, why would you do this? Like, just like if you guys are gonna do this, just be like, it's just the two singers. We're doing this, whatever. But to be like, hey, California reunites, and then Kajira Yuki's like, what? Like, what,
First
guys?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was it's just a terrible PR move, honestly. Um, very unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that was the last of the news, and now we come to our shoutouts and callouts here. Everybody here gets one shout out and one call out each. Shout out is one thing that you want to praise 5 out of 5. Uh, and it can be any one person, place, or thing. And call out is the exact opposite, 0 out of 5, something that you want to rant about, something that you want to rant about, and again, it can be any one person, place, or thing. Starting with Nier.
Shoutouts to the fact that Gushing Over Magical Girls got a season 2 announced today. That's fucking Pog champ, dude. We're so fucking back. Callouts to all the fucking people dying in the industry recently. I don't
Yeah.
I'm not a
I
fan.
think you
I
were
don't think I
very
like it.
affected by Sayuri's passing
Yeah.
as well, right? Yeah,
I mean, that was just like,
because she's 28 too.
yeah, that
She's
was
not
just like
exactly old,
completely out of fucking nowhere. It was just like,
and also she was not and we are not implying anything, by the way, just putting that out there. She was fighting a. It's not like she was fighting a terminal illness, right? So the circumstances surrounding her death was very sudden for
and
us.
she was just
Um,
recently married too, right? So,
yes, and she was on Twitter, she was posting happily, although obviously social media is a deception, right? Everybody
yeah,
can
of
always be
course.
posting happily until they're while being very sad. But again, the circumstances surrounding her death was very sudden and unexpected for I think all of us. So it was very unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit
Uh,
sucks.
yeah. But yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Nier. Toast. What about you? Shout out, call out.
My shout out goes to
Yeah.
Goes to
It's based on
somebody. Goes to a thing.
he's fucking dead.
He's dead, bro. All right.
what? Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
What's up?
What's your
All
shout
right.
out?
So what's your
Oh,
shout out?
I gotta say it again? Alright. My
Yeah.
shout out, I'm gonna shout out Amelia Watson.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your 4 years of service to the VTubing community. You definitely changed the game when you entered, and you definitely changed the game when you exited.
Yeah,
You
a lot of the whole live EN like the original people praise Amelia Watson for really, I mean, and the community as well, because there was like a period of time early on where she essentially carried that general group of people. So
When
yeah.
everyone else was in lockdown and had COVID, she built a 3D studio all by herself in a cave with a box of
Mhm,
scraps. And that's what they used for their 3Ds for a long time.
mhm.
And what they're probably going to be able to use for later on to rent it out, I guess,
Yeah.
instead of building one. Be like, hey, let's use your studio. She
Mhm.
gets free money of that. And she changed the game with multiple things in the EN community, the EN VTubing sphere as a whole, too. Like a lot of the bigger name EN VTubers owe a lot to Amelia Watson. They mentioned that when the news broke. So yeah,
Mm.
good job, Amelia. Yeah.
Okay. And your call out?
Near, why don't you want to come with me to the void? The void calls you.
I'm not a fan, bro.
But I love the void.
Yeah.
But yeah, my call out is Japanese Beatles. Screw you guys.
Uh-huh.
Why?
they eat your lawn, and
Because
it's
big
annoying.
and weird.
What?
Yeah.
They eat grass and make your lawn brown, and now I gotta dig it up and replant new grass, and it's annoying because grass takes
Yeah.
forever to grow. Screw you, Japanese beetles.
All right.
But you know what? No,
I
no, no.
guess.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's not magnanimous enough. That's not
Okay.
magnanimous enough.
What's your call out?
I'm gonna call out Hurricane Helene, Tropical Storm
Oh
Helene.
yeah.
Fair.
All right, yeah, that's more worthy of
Okay.
the Earth. The
Yeah.
Earth
True.
call out.
All right. Thank you very much, Toast. Dark.
Um, you know, it's a good question. What should my call out be? Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta pass for a second. You're gonna have to skip me for a second.
Don't you love
Okay.
Ghosts? Aren't you ready for Ghosts of Yote versus Assassin's Creed Shadow?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess that could be my call
That
out.
game is gay and retarded.
Yeah, I guess my call out could be to fucking me. I mean, just like in general, like people being like, "Oh, games are woke. It's woke now," and it's like, please do any sort of like introspection and analysis of anything, please.
Link the list again. I heard
Jesus
that.
Christ.
Yeah.
I don't have that list on hand. It's just like,
I heard Space Marine 2 is too woke now.
yeah,
It has a
probably.
brown person in it, so yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows that Space Marines cannot be different races. It's just like,
They
it's
all have to
impossible.
be white and
They all have
they
to be a
all have to
white
be
guy.
thumbs. They all have to be
Near
thumbs. Yeah.
and I were actually having this discussion, and it's like, these fucking morons probably think that like all Space Marines are just, like, clones of the same guy, like they're fucking
Yeah.
clone troopers from
It's
Star
just a
Wars.
StarCraft.
It's
It's a
like, that's not
StarCraft
a
They're
clones.
all
yeah, it's like,
they're
that's
all
not
generic
that's not
white dude.
yeah, it's like,
Obviously.
that's not a fucking what a fucking Space Marine is. Like,
Mm.
that is not how that works. For the
Yeah,
uninitiated,
exactly.
they are horrifically mutated and have a lot of surgeries done to them to turn into freaks. That's what they
Yeah.
are. Honestly, unfortunately for them, they're not clones. They would actually probably be more humane if they were clones, or just grown in a lab that way. But they're not. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
so yeah.
woke games are gay and stupid. Why?
True.
I hate every game. I think fucking
Yeah.
every game sucks because it's woke. Um, yeah, Spider-Man woke. God of War woke. Bad. Shouldn't play those.
Mir, I heard the Joker movie was pretty bad. Is that true?
I
Um,
haven't seen it, so
I've been hearing bad things.
yeah,
So.
and then I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
shout out to
Two?
all the random fucking retweets, Otokonoko art retweets that keep showing up on my
Yeah,
feed now.
yeah.
So, you know,
I
great stuff.
I just want to yeah. I just want to say also our channel has actually just I don't know. Yeah, God, yeah, it's the second high. It's just, okay. Our Pineapple is the second highest review. Okay, or highest anime review. But
Boom.
thank you to yeah. Anyways, thank you, Dark, for your shout out call out. And for me, I'm going to oh yeah, I'm going to call out the delivery people who put. I ordered this like piece of like exercise equipment that was literally 105 pounds. and it was in like a large box, right? That like required essentially two people to lift it, right? And
Did they put it in
I'm
front of
on
your
the second.
door?
They put it no, well, like, I wouldn't even have mind if they had put it on the first floor, like, below, like, my apartment, so maybe, like, I could push it up myself, because like, I have enough strength to, push it up, or, like, I can kinda, like I essentially ended up, like, rolling it up the stairs, right, by myself, and that would've been okay, right? That's not even what they did. They literally put it in the apartment over on the other side, and I'm just like, "What is wrong with you people?" So I literally had to just take that again. This is like 105 plus like pounds or whatever, and I had to like because it's like a large box thing, so it's hard to grasp. So I had to like drag it over from that apartment to the first floor of my apartment, and then I had to push it up the stairs. And I'm
It's not
just
even in
like,
the right
guys,
building.
yeah, it wasn't even the right building.
Oh,
I was looking at the photo of where it was delivered. I was like, I have no idea where this is, and I hope this is somewhere close to me. Because if it's not, then I'm screwed, right? It's like, um, but yeah, it was really stupid. So call outs to them. Shout outs
Did you buy
to
a hand truck? You should invest in a hand truck or whatever it's called, utility cart,
yeah, yeah,
moving
yeah, I know
cart.
what you're talking about. Yeah, 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 moving cart. That would be interesting. I might think about that down the line for some stuff, but yeah, I might. But my shout out is actually to the lovely Sword Art Online fan community because while Dark was playing his, the new Sword Art Online game, and Nier was like spectating, and we were kind of talking about how the Sword Art Online kind of timeline was ordered, right? In terms of like where Kirito went in and out of. I was like Googling just to make sure, and all these things come up where it's like Sword Art Online technically is not a harem, guys, and it's just like just
yeah.
just get up, man. Just
I was
like
I
True.
was
But
telling Nier,
fire,
they're like
he's
Sword
got
Art
a
Online is technically
fiance.
not. Yeah,
yeah,
except even in the new Sword Art game, and this is why I even said to Nier, I was like, damn, they're still doing this. Kirito is like, someone asked him like, yeah, like what's the deal with you and that Asuna girl or something, or just like implying like basically like the most childish like prodding in general, and he just gets all
Mhm.
flustered, and it's just like, and I'm just like, dog, like isn't she your fiance? Like aren't you like married at this point like, in the timeline? Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, and
She
not
still
only
has
that, but
cooties,
it's
dude.
yeah, exactly. And also, Nier was asking like, why is this girl who's originally popped up in Gun Gale Online? Why was she retconned into this previous world that when she was not even a thing, right? In Alfheim, which is like the world with fairies where Kirito was in before he got into Gangia Online, and I was just like, it's because the character is ridiculously
Is
popular.
there never was there never a point where she went to ALO like after like in the series? Like
They
cuz don't they go back to it at certain
they
points?
used all. What happened at the end with Sao is that there was a world seed, which is basically like
Yes,
you can make any game out of this world seed. It's basically like a
yes.
creation engine, and that's what they do.
Yeah, essentially, even with like the nano machine kind of incident, what essentially happened was they took that sort of quote unquote base engine or like the base
It's like
structure of
Roblox.
uh, yeah, they took the base structure of one
Metaverse.
of the MMOs, and they were trying to use a supercomputer and plug the supercomputer into Kirito's head in order to try to recreate that MMO in his mind, and
What?
then they sent the other people into his head in order to help him rehab so
That's
he wouldn't feel out of touch in the world or something like that, right?
Yeah.
what? Are we talking Alicization or are we talking because
Yeah, I'm talking about Alice. What the introduction into
I thought
Alicization,
I
right?
thought Dark was asking why
Yeah, I
they
was
can
just
go
saying
back
like
to
isn't there a point? No, I was just saying
Alfheim.
isn't there was there not a point in
They can.
the
It's because
actual
they
like
had, like I said, it's the
series though
Roblox thing where
where
it's a game
But I
engine.
don't think
Shinon went
Sinnoh
So
to
went
ALO?
ever went back. It was more just like
No,
after
I'm pretty
GGO, she
sure.
kind of just like, well,
it's
she kind of
because
faded away.
the character data they have in can be interused between all games that use this world seed.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
I was
get.
just saying
but
I was
what
just
we're
saying in
talking
the
about is
show. I wasn't sure if
in the games
It's
they're
Sinnoh, yeah,
always they're always like in Alfheim, right? Because
Yeah,
Alfheim
yeah.
is the most low stakes sort of period that they can do to do like a sort of non-committal story like
It's
that.
also
But
It's the
the thing
easiest
is,
one. It's the
they
easiest one.
always retcon Sinon to be in Alfheim because she's so fucking
Yeah.
popular
Yeah.
that like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Not have fucking Sinon? And
Also-
so
Well,
Well, I
they
don't
come
think
up
the
with
new
like a
I don't think the new Sword Art game is taking place like the new Sword Art game is taking place in a complete bullshit timeline because people from Alicization are in it. Like
yeah, but
it
again,
makes
it's
zero
still it's still in Alfheim.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
They just
Like
play very
because again, like
fast and lose.
the sort
Well,
of
technically it's
Alfheim
in
world.
Alfheim and GO.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
See, the only reason they keep on using Alfheim is because Aincrad no longer exists, but they rebuilt Aincrad in Alfheim, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
otherwise they would have just gone back to Aincrad.
Basically,
But yeah.
SAO fucking sucks.
Yeah. It was. I
That's
just.
why Near you have to read progressive.
Watch
It's just
alternative.
Aincrad.
Watch alternative. It's a way better.
You watch. Yeah. What's also funny to me again, and I mentioned this before the podcast to these guys, is that the unfortunate part of this is if you look back upon the history of how like the MMO isekai, this general subgenre slash subculture formed with these anime topics, right? Sword Art Online is supposed to be near the peak in quality, and it just kind of all went downhill from there.
That's
And that's like the
because
saddest part.
it's the progenitor of all of Inspire.
Yeah, it popularized a lot of the
Shangri-La
yeah.
Frontier clears it. So
Yeah. That is there's some exceptions in the darkness, but it's kind of sad that instead of inventing something, right? Inventing the wheel, inventing the car, inventing the plane, and going up from there, we're just like, nah, it's just gonna become worse and worse and worse. Like it's very kind of sad that that happened, but you know,
Sword
it
Art
is what it is.
Online is the Dragon Ball Z of shonen anime.
Of shonen anime, yeah, of
yeah,
isekai anime, right?
Isekai
Yeah,
anime.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
or MMO isekai, blah blah blah. Yeah, exactly.
same thing.
But yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Who would
now
win in a
Toast is
fight?
also gonna get
Who would win in a fight? Dragon Ball Z
or Kirito.
or Sword Art Online?
I think Dragon Ball
series
probably.
wise,
Ah.
I think Dragon Ball kind of clears
What's
the
the name of the
popularity of Sao.
What's the name of
You guys
the
are
new
so
Sao game?
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name
You
of the
guys
new
don't know fucking
SAO game?
anything.
Yeah.
What's the name of the new Sao game again?
Uh,
I
Dark, what's
fucking
the name
own it,
again?
and I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
So you know
Fractured
it's good.
Daydream. I mean,
Fractured
it's fun.
Daydream?
Yeah, it's
Is
fun.
Fractured Daydream better than Sparking Zero?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Probably
Oh
not.
my god.
Like almost certainly
Probably not,
not.
yeah.
Like this game is
Oh
this game is a very
yeah.
janky like think like fucking Grand Blue Relink, but with like 10 layers of jank added onto it.
Didn't you see that? What is it that Gameology video where Sparking Zero is like the worst game ever or whatever? I don't remember because the
Is
game
Sparking Zero not good?
Gameology took down the video, so I don't remember it
Oh,
anymore.
I don't know. I don't know
was
if
coward.
Sparking Zero is good or not. So
He's probably
I will
being
say
a
that. It
contrarian
looked
and got
good,
his
but-
fucking ass blasted by people that actually like the game. So.
Which is basically everyone because it's
Yeah.
like the most pre-ordered game ever.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's how that works. But
I
yeah,
know
anyways.
it beat out Call
Sparking
of Duty.
Zero clearing. Yeah, I mean it might be Call of Duty pre-orders for now.
Yeah, I still think that like fucking GTA 5 has a beat. So.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways,
There
I
was
do
the
want
number
to
one pre-order game on PSN. Okay, that's the one.
yeah, I do want to move on. Close or wrap this up. But yeah, that was my shout out call out. And I guess with that, we are done with this episode. Again, kind of brief reviews and a lot more kind of new stuff, but you know, that's sort of how things roll with this episode. I think next upcoming couple of episodes, or at least next episode, we're going to be able to have most anime series this season at their episode 3s or even episode 4s for some. So that'll be, or yeah, it'll be mostly I think episode 2s and episode 3s. So look out for that. We're gonna do 4 more reviews likely, not including this one, and then I think we'll have to time that with the um end of the year awards show as well as the previous shows. So just keep we'll keep you updated on how that schedule goes because we always do have a little bit of a packed schedule near the end of the year. But yeah, if you do like what we do, we stream our podcast every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over at twitch.tv/4player Animecast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in animation, Japanese animation media, anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. So you can check out our VODs, our live recording here, as well as on YouTube. We have our highlights, the full VOD, the whole shebang, in whichever format you desire. We also have updates and news on our social media platforms on Facebook, 4Play Animecast, as well as on Twitter, handle at 4PP Animecast, all with the numeral 4. So check us out here, check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.